Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Comedy this Tuesday with episodes of the Jack Benny program, The Great Gildersleeve, You Bet Your Life, Fibber McGee and Molly, and Lum and Abner. That's all straight ahead in this 2-hour episode. We'll also have a look at the news a little later on from March 12th, 1952. But we're first going to start up with telling you what happened on this in history on this Tuesday. This is the 12th day of March, 71st day of the year, 72nd day rather of the year. 294 days remaining till we get to 2025. In 1894, Coca-Cola sold in bottles for the very first time. Before that, it was just in the fountain. In 1912, the Girl Guides founded in the U.S. It would later be renamed the Girl Scouts of America. In 1918, Moscow became the capital of Russia again after St. Petersburg had the status for 215 years. In California on this date in 1928, the St. Francis Dam failed. 400 people died. In 1933, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt addressed the nation for the first time as president, also the first of his many fireside chats. The subject of the first chat was the closure of the banks to avoid runs.
My friends, I want to talk for a few minutes with the people of the United States about banking. To talk with the comparatively few who understand the mechanics of banking, but more particularly with the overwhelming majority of you who use banks for the making of deposits and the drawing of checks.
FDR thanked the public for the fortitude and good temperament with which everybody accepted the hardships of the banking holiday. And those fireside chats really made a difference. Good presidents use direct communication to the public to make a difference in how their policies are held and how their policies should be believed. When you go through the filter of the media sometimes, it's very difficult to get your message out. And so these sort of chats, and of course it requires that the chats be given reply time to the opposition, the networks do, and sometimes they don't like that. I recall when we used to run every Saturday morning when the presidents would come forth and chat to the American people. I thought it was a very important thing that broadcasters do that. I always did until it went away I was at the Obama administration, I believe it was, when those finally ended. In 1947, the Truman Doctrine proclaimed to help stem the spread of communism. 1951, Dennis the Menace appeared in comic strips and newspapers across the nation for the first time. In 1964, on this date, Malcolm X spoke about the struggle of the ballot or the bullet.
The political philosophy of black nationalism means we must control the politics and the politicians of our own community. They must no longer take orders from outside forces, and we will organize and sweep out of office all Negro politicians who are puppets for these outside forces.
Those philosophies make a lot of sense even to this day, and it's amazing that you can find somebody who was an African American and said these things that a lot of people are saying today. 4 days earlier, Malcolm X broke with the Nation of Islam, saying he was embracing Sunni Islam, and less than a year later he would be assassinated in New York City at the age of 39. 1965, Chinese radio read a statement by Chinese Communist Party Vice President Chou En-lai pledging support to South Vietnam.
We are prepared at any moment when they are needed by the people of southern Vietnam to send our own personnel to fight together with them and wipe out the U.S. aggressors.
The statement closed by saying the final outcome of the struggle can only be the ousting of the U.S. aggressors from Vietnam, from Indochina, and from the whole of Southeast Asia. Well, following the 1971 passage of the 26th Amendment to the Constitution, Warner Brothers Records released a promotional record to radio stations by their artists, urging the youth to register and vote. Now, while most of these artists opted to do spoken word announcements, Arlo Guthrie recorded this announcement on this date in 1972.
You're sitting around, nothing to do, while the future of the country is up to you. If you know a woman or man that wants to be the president of the land, well, then you must go down. Let them know that you're still in town when you're doing the voter registration raid. Doing the voter registration raid.
Thinking I ought to play that on the radio. It would later be released, that voter registration rag, in a Warner Brothers collection entitled Burbank. In 1987, Les Miserables opened on Broadway. In 1993, North Korea said it planned to withdraw from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and refused to allow inspectors access to nuclear sites. It was on this date in 2002. In Texas, Andrea Yates found guilty of drowning her 5 children on June 20th of the year before.
In cause number 880205, the state of Texas versus Andrea Pia Yates. We, the jury, find the defendant, Andrea Pia Yates, guilty of capital murder as charged in the indictment.
Yates was sentenced to life in prison. Her sentence would be overturned on appeal, and she would end up being retried in 2006. In her retrial, the jury found that Yates was not guilty by reason of insanity and was committed. It was on this date in 2003 that Serbian Prime Minister Zoran Đinđić, a reformer who played a central role in the downfall of former Yugoslav President Slobodan Milosevic in October of 2000, was shot to death outside the main government building in Belgrade.
The President expresses his condolences to the people of Serbia on the assassination of Zoran Đinđić. Prime Minister Đinđić will be remembered for his role in bringing democracy to Serbia and for his role in bringing Slobodan Milosevic to justice. The President expresses his prayers and condolences to the people of Serbia.
White House Press Secretary Ari Fleischer. It was in 2009 that financier Bernie Madoff pled guilty in New York to scamming $18 billion, the largest in Wall Street history. In 2011, a reactor at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant melted and exploded and released radioactivity into the atmosphere a day after a Japanese earthquake. In 2014, an explosion in the New York City neighborhood of East Harlem killed 8 and injured 70 others. And it was 4 years ago today, the U.S. suspended travel from Europe due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Among those passing away on this date in history, George Westinghouse, the entrepreneur and engineer, saxophonist Charlie Parker, Hungarian conductor Eugene Ormandy, actor Maurice Evans, violinist Yehudi Menuhin, also TV talk show host Morton Downey Jr., the Dave Brubeck Quartet drummer Joe Morello, and the co-founder of Mr. Coffee, Samuel Glazer. It may not mean much to a lot of you, but passing away on this date in 2014, Jackie Gahn, a businessman who ran one of the last of the small casinos in Las Vegas. Not the Plaza, but it was the El Cortez Casino, just outside, well, it's close to downtown, close to the Fremont Street Experience. And I have to tell you, the last time I was there, I was not as happy with it, but I recall there was a period of time when I lived in Las Vegas, but did not want to. I spent some time there, and I rented rooms there periodically for a weekend away from the house, and it was really nice. They had some queen-size bedrooms on the second floor of the hotel, and they were very, very reasonably priced. No elevator. You walked down a flight of stairs, and when you walked down the flight of stairs, you were dumped into the middle of the casino, and I swear you could see Dan Daly and Ginger Rogers playing at the gambling tables. I mean, it was a delightful small hotel. They've made some changes, and I'm not as happy with it as I used to be, but I will tell you that if you go to Las Vegas, check out the El Cortez. It's still a slice of old Las Vegas. There's so little of it left. Okay, Jackie Gone, the former owner of it, passed away on this date in 2014. Now, among birthdays on this date, let's see. We had Paul Weston, the pianist, arranger, and conductor. Gordon MacRae, also born on this date. Writer Jack Kerouac. Astronaut Wally Schirra. Pro wrestler Mae Young, who was, as they would say in the trade, a tough old broad. And she was good at her work. And also born on this date in history, the remarkable Al Jarreau.
1984.
Years before Jarreau died, he did a wonderful rendition, this was in 2015, of My Old Friend. And it was probably, even though he was not as good as he was when he first did it back in the 80s, he had such power still in his voice. And he made you cry. He really did. Al Jarreau, a remarkable performer. We lost him far too early in 2017. Al Jarreau, born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
I just loved the television show Get Smart. And Agent 99, Barbara Feldon, is still with us at the age of 91. From Coffeyville, Kansas, Johnny Rutherford, the great three-time Indy 500 winner, is 86 years old today. Singer-actress Liza with a Z Minnelli is 78 today. James Taylor is still with us at 76. The Jackson 5's Marlon Jackson is 67. She's the granddaughter of Hank Williams and the daughter of Hank Williams Jr. Holly Williams, still singing and writing at 43 years old. From the television show Blind Spot, Jamie Alexander is 40. And from the Ghost Whisperer, Tyler Patrick Jones is 30. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 12th day of March as their birthday. And if this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
Now let's get the party started here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And by the way, can you share our information with people? We would really like for you to do that. Send them to classicradio.stream or wherever podcasts are served. They can search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, and they can get this 2+ hour daily montage of some of the greatest radio shows of all time for themselves. We appreciate you sharing it. We would like to grow this. Alrighty, we'll start off first with Jack Benny, going back to Sunday, March 12, 1950, 74 years ago. And it appears that Rochester's going to be dealing with income tax. You know that's going to be fun.
My true love's many faces, many places you see. The city, the country, the sea. Wherever my true love may take it to be. Now zip code will find her for me. Wherever my true love may take it to be. Now zip code will find her for me. Oh, zip code, please find her for me.
Not shilling for the post office, but you know, a card or a letter is wonderful to people you love. Means a lot to them. Send them something today, won't you? Okay, let's get started on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox by going back 74 years to March 12th, 1950, an episode of the Jack Benny Show as Rochester does his income taxes, and Jack is a winner.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike. Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. Yes, let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. And that's because LSMFT. LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Fine, light, naturally mild tobacco that gives you smoothness and mildness. And no wonder, for years, Lucky Strike has maintained America's largest and most complete cigarette research laboratory. Prior to the auctions, the buyers for Lucky Strike send sample tobacco leaves from all tobacco-growing areas to this great laboratory for scientific analysis to help determine which tobaccos are really fine. And this is only one phase of the constant research that helps guarantee smoothness and mildness in every single Lucky Strike you smoke. So smoke a Lucky. Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. Make your next carton Lucky Strike.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and the Sportsman Quartet, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go out to Jack Benny's home in Beverly Hills, where, even as you and I, Rochester is filling out his income tax.
Let's see. Name, Rochester Van Jones. Occupation, butler, chauffeur, cook, gardener, valet, masseur, window washer, and composer of Time on My Hands. Now, let's see. Exemptions. If married and your wife or husband had no income, or if this is a joint return of husband and wife, list wife or husband. I better read that again. If married and your wife or husband had no income, or if this is a joint return of husband and wife, list wife or husband. Yep, that's what it says. That's what the form says. Uncle Sam says that. Well, fortunately, I'm single and have no wife or husband. Now, let's see. Enter your total wage.
Oh, hello, Rochester. What are you doing?
I'm filling out my income tax, Mr. Benny. It certainly is complicated.
Well, I'll help you with it if you like.
I sure would.
All right, now let's see the form. Rochester, you got to put down your salary.
Can I write it in red ink?
Why?
I want them to know I'm blushing.
Never mind. Now, for the next item, list any extra monies you received as gratuities, gifts, or bonuses from your employer.
Oh, boss, come now.
Well, let's see what you did about your deductions. For every close relative you support, you can deduct $600.
Well, let's see. There's my mother.
Oh, Rochester, I didn't know you supported your mother.
Oh, yes, that sweet little old lady I take for a drive every Saturday night.
Your mother? Rochester, I happen to know that every Saturday night you take my car and go up on Mulholland Drive.
M is for the million.
Rochester! Now, don't give me that stuff about your mother. Last Saturday night I followed you. I distinctly heard you mention Lena Horne.
I said, Mother, don't lean on the horn.
Oh, sure. Now, let's see the rest of this. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Rochester, you can't list Tanforan as a dependent. And what's this item you show as income?
Oh, that was the night Mr. Harris hired me as bartender. Man, was I busy.
Why, who was there?
Just Mr. Harris.
Oh.
By the way, boss, you went to the preview of Mr. Harris's picture last night, didn't you?
Yes, it's called Wabash Avenue.
How was it?
Very good, Rochester, and Mr. Harris was excellent in it. Say, I ought to call him and tell him how much I enjoyed it. I meant to do that yesterday. I forgot all about it after I saw the picture.
Hello, Mr. Harris's residence.
Huh? Who's this?
Alice.
Alice?
Yeah, Alice Quigley, Mr. Harris's new secretary.
Oh. Well, say, isn't it a little confusing having two Alices in the same house?
No, he calls his wife Blondie.
Ah. What does he call you?
Dagwood.
Oh, well, can I speak to Mr. Harris, please?
I guess so. Who's calling?
Oh, this is Jack Benny.
Oh, just a minute. Hey, Curly, the wild goose is on the phone.
Okay, I'll take it in this room. Hiya, Jackson, what's on your mind?
Well, Phil, I called to tell you how much I enjoyed your new picture, Wabash Avenue. I mean, not only did your photograph swell, but you were great in it. You gave the part everything it needed. Really, Phil, you were magnificent.
I know.
Phil, why must you be so conceited?
It's not conceit, Jackson. You said I was good. I know I was good, so there's no sense me being immoral about it.
You must mean immodest. But, Phil, the scene that impressed me most was the one where you were so upset about losing the girl that you went out and got drunk. Gee, you did that swell.
Yeah, even Mr. Zanuck said that scene was worthy of an Academy Award.
Well, it was. Did you have to do much work on it?
What work? I came in one morning, I was loaded, they shot the scene, and the star was born.
Oh, fine. Anyway, Phil, you were really great in it, and so was Betty Grable. And you got some rather tough competition from Victor Mature.
Oh, Jackson, that Mature ain't so hot. Why, last year Paramount offered me $200,000 to play his part in Samson and Delilah.
Phil, they offered you $200,000 to play Samson? Why didn't you do it?
And have these tresses cut off? Are you mad?
Well, I don't blame you, Phil. Having you this way is bad enough, but bald-headed would be revolting. You and Sammy the drummer would look like a lovely bunch of coconuts. Believe me.
I can see your point, yeah.
Oh, Mr. Harris.
What is it, Daggy?
Your valet said your bath is ready.
Oh, I'll be right there.
Hey, wait a minute, Phil. How come all of a sudden you not only have a secretary, but a valet, too?
Look, Dad, you're talking to a movie star.
Well, I'm glad you finished that. For a minute, I thought you were going to give milk. Goodbye, Phil.
So long, Jackson.
Gee, I hope Phil's head doesn't swell too much. He can hardly get out of the house now. Well, Rochester, how are you getting along with your tax?
Pretty good, boss. Would you like to look it over?
Yes, let's see. Wait a minute, Rochester, what's this item here for medical expense?
Last year I had one of my tonsils taken out.
Rochester, you only had one of your tonsils taken out?
Boss, when you give me 20 minutes off, you mean 20 minutes.
Rochester, you mean to say you ran out in the middle of an operation?
Don't you remember when I came through the door, I still had a rubber glove in my mouth?
A rubber glove?
The doctor was in it till I crossed Wilshire Boulevard.
Oh, stop with that. Uncle Sam wants money, not jokes. Now, let's see what else you... I'll get it. Oh, hello, Dennis.
I came to say goodbye. I'm joining the Foreign Legion.
Dennis, look at me. You're joining the Foreign Legion?
Uh-huh.
The French Foreign Legion?
Oui, El Capitan.
El Capitan? That's Mon Capitan.
I'm going by train.
Dennis, I want to ask you one thing. Does your mother know you're leaving home to join the Foreign Legion?
Oh, she was the one who suggested it.
Why?
Well, last week I played a joke on her.
On your mother? What'd you do?
I put itching powder in her girdle.
Well, that's an awful thing to do. Your mother should slap your face.
She can't. She's using both hands to scratch with. Boy, is she sorry now. She bites her fingernails.
Dennis, look.
Well, I gotta leave now. I gotta join my regiment.
Stop with that silly talk. You're not joining the Foreign Legion.
I'm not?
No. And come inside. Now, Dennis, forget about the Foreign Legion. You can't go now anyway. We got a program to do Sunday. What song are you going to sing on it?
Well, since it's so close to St. Patrick's Day, maybe I ought to sing Clancy Lowered the Boom.
Well, we must have a lot of people in our house. Well, I won't see it. Well, I won't see it till it's time for the broadcast. So let me hear it now.
Yes, sir.
Foreign Legion. Go ahead and sing.
Okay, hold my sword.
Your sword? Hey, look at that. Say, that sword is over 3 feet long. Where'd you get it?
In a box of Cracker Jacks.
What?
It stuck out a little.
Dennis, sing, will ya?
Well, Clancy was a peaceful man, if you know what I mean. Now the cops picked up the pieces after Clancy left the scene. He never looked for trouble, that's a fact you can assume. Oh, nevertheless, when trouble would press, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, the Clancy! Oh, the Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom, 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 boom. O'Leary was a fighting man, they all knew he was tough. He strutted round the neighborhood, shorting off his guff. He picked a fight with Clancy, then and there he sealed his doom. Before you could shout, O'Leary, look out! Clancy lowered the boom! Oh, the Clancy! Oh, the Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom, 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 boom. Now Clancy left the barber shop with tonic on his hair. He walked into the pool room and he met O'Reilly there. O'Reilly said, for goodness sakes, now do I smell perfume? Before you could stack your cue in the rack, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, the Clancy! Oh, the Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom, 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 boom. The neighbors all turned out for Kate O'Grady's wedding night. McDougal said, let's have some fun. I think I'll start a fight. He wrecked the hall, then kissed the bride, then pulverized the groom. Then quick as a wink, before you could think, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, the Clancy! Oh, the Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, the Clancy! Oh, the Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom, 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 boom. Sure, it was the greatest sight you ever did see when Clancy lowered the boom.
Dennis, that was very good, and just the right number before St. Patrick's Day.
Give me back my sword.
Here, and don't cut yourself. Oh, excuse me.
Mr. Benny,
Yes?
my name is Joan. The girls in my high school class are having a scavenger hunt.
Uh-huh.
And I was selected to come over here and get something personal from you.
Something personal?
Very personal.
Oh. Oh, I bet I know what you have to get. A lock of my hair.
I'm supposed to get the whole thing.
Well, Joan, step in for a minute. I'll go into my room and get you one. Excuse me, man. I'll be right back.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Joan. I'm a junior at Chadwick High School.
My name is Dennis. I'm a private in the Foreign Legion. I leave to join my regiment tonight.
Gee, you mean you're going all the way out to the desert?
Uh-huh.
Way over to North Africa?
I thought it was in Palm Springs.
Say, wait a minute. I know who you are. You're Dennis Day, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Gosh, wait till I tell the rest of the girls in my class I met Dennis Day. They think you're a wonderful singer.
They do?
Yeah, they think you're almost as good as Vic Damone.
Well, here you are, young lady.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Benny. And when the scavenger hunt is over, I'll return it.
Oh, you needn't bother.
Just turn it loose. It'll come home.
Yeah. Well, goodbye, Joan.
Goodbye.
She was a pretty girl, wasn't she, Dennis? Dennis? He left with her.
Say, boss, I finished making out my income tax. I'm ready to send to the government. Have you got a 3-cent stamp?
Rochester, you've already got a 3-cent stamp on the envelope.
I have to put one in the envelope. That's my tax.
Well, I don't know if you're allowed... Uh-oh, look what time it is. I better turn on the radio. I don't want to miss it today.
Boss, what's on the radio that's so important?
I want to listen to that program. You know, they're going to announce the winner of the contest.
Is that the contest that you've been sending all those soap wrappers to?
Yep, that's the one. It's sponsored by the Sagebrush Soap Company. Gosh, I hope they like the slogan I sent in. Now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on the sage. That ought to win it. Rochester, turn on the radio.
Boss, that program doesn't come on for 5 minutes yet.
I know, but I don't want to take any chance of missing it, you know. Boy, could I use a trip to Honolulu or 2 weeks in Havana. Turn on the radio.
I can see no matter how near you'll be, you'll never belong to me, but I can dream, can I adore you,
And now for our next contestant.
That's not the station I want, brother. Maybe this is it.
Oh, Paul. Paul, listen to me. You've only been married to her for such a short time. Please don't leave her.
I must leave her.
But she's my only daughter, my only child. Please, Paul, say you won't leave her. Please don't leave her.
I must leave her.
Paul, I beg you, I implore you, don't leave her. Say you won't leave her. Say it, Paul. Say you won't leave her.
This program is sponsored by the Lever Brothers.
Oh, that isn't the station either.
And now we bring you our genial master of ceremonies, the man with the sagebrush complexion, Frank Nelson.
That's it, Rochester. That's the program that has the contest.
How do you do? Once again, we bring you that thrilling program sponsored by the Sagebrush Soap Company, makers of Sagebrush, the only soap with a Western motif.
I know. Get to the contest.
And why does Sagebrush soap have a Western motif? For your convenience. When you're bathing, Sagebrush doesn't slip and slide all over the place, thanks to that Western motif. Sagebrush is the only soap that's shaped like a gun. In the morning, all you have to do is take off your pajamas, strap on your holster, and step into the shower.
Come on, announce the winner.
Yes, with Sagebrush, the soap that's shaped like a gun. There's no rub or scrub. You shoot yourself clean. So remember our slogan, use Sagebrush soap and smell like a cowboy.
The slogan I sent in is better than that.
And now we come to the announcement you've all been waiting for. The slogan that was judged the winner in our thrilling contest.
This is it, Roger.
This slogan that was selected from over 12 entries. And here it is. Now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on the sage.
Gee, that's the lousiest slogan
Yike! What's the matter, boss?
That lousy slogan is mine. Gosh.
Ladies and gentlemen, that winning slogan was sent in by Mr. Jack Benny of 360 North Camden Drive, Beverly Hills. We're glad to know that our soap is getting into that part of the city.
Never mind the talk. What's the prize? What's the prize?
Boss, do you think you'll get a trip to Honolulu?
I don't know. Havana isn't bad either.
Yes, Mr. Benny, for sending in that slogan to the Sagebrush Soap Company, you have won yourself a trip.
Pack my bags, Rochester.
Yes, sir, a magnificent trip.
Shall I pack your ukulele?
Not yet. It might be Havana.
Ah, Mr. Benny, you're a lucky man. You have won yourself 6 glorious weeks at that romantic spot of song and story.
Yes.
That Shangri-La whose shores are lapped by the languid waters of the blue Pacific. Pismo Beach.
Pismo Beach? What happened to Honolulu?
And now, in honor of our contest winner, Mr. Jack Benny, who sent in our new slogan, "Now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on the sage," our quartet, Proctor, Gamble, Palmolive, and Pete, will wish our contest winner bon voyage. Take it, boys.
By the sea, by the sea, by the beautiful sea, Pismo Beach, oh how happy you'll be. When each wave comes a-rolling in, you will duck or swim,
And you'll float and fool around the water.
over and under and then up for air. Just use one dab of glue and you won't lose your hair. You'll have a lot of fun a-shooting clams with your soap gun at Pismo by the beautiful sea. Lucky strike, you will smoke them all day. And for smoothness and mildness, you'll say they're okay. Round and firm and so fully packed, made of fine tub back.
Yes, it's LS.
MFT, by the beautiful sea. Take a puff, and we know you'll agree. You'll find there's no rough puff or puff or rough puff at Pismo by the beautiful sea.
And now we will close the program with our new prize-winning slogan. Take it, boys.
Now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on the sage.
Imagine me winning a trip just to Pismo Beach. It's only 200 miles from here.
Shall I pack your tuxedo, boss?
Rochester, I don't have to dress formal to dig clams. Anyway, I'm not going.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dreer Pooson speaking to you from Washington. My first prediction is that the federal budget will soon be balanced. This feat will be accomplished as soon as we collect the income tax from Bob Hope.
He's not kidding. The money Bob's making at the Paramount New York will do it. Shut off the radio, Rochester. Well, I think that I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Well, Mr. Kitzel.
Mr. Benny, I just called you up to congratulate you.
Congratulate me?
Yeah, I was sitting here at home listening to the radio when all of a sudden they're announcing you the winner on a contest.
Oh, that.
What a slogan. Now is the hour to take a shower while Mrs. Bloom is on the stage.
No, Mr. Kitzel. That's Bloom is on the sage.
Oh, I thought it was his wife.
Oh.
Mr. Benny, are you lucky? My, what I wouldn't give to spend 6 glorious weeks in Pismo Beach.
Well, Mr. Kitzel, Pismo Beach is a lovely place, but I can go there anytime. It's close by. I don't have to win it. Anyway, I'm not going.
But a vacation would do you good, Mr. Benny. You've been working too hard.
Well, I know.
Every Sunday a radio program and 5 nights a week on television.
Me? On television?
I never miss it. Time for Benny.
No, that's Beanie. Time for Beanie. See, that. Look, Mr. Kitzel, they're puppets.
Ooh, puppets, muppets. I still think a vacation is good for everybody, and that's why I'm going to Sun Valley this week.
Oh, you're going up Sun Valley?
Yes, I'm going up to do some skiing.
Well, you better be careful, Mr. Kitzel. You know, Ali Khan broke his leg while skiing. Now he's confined to his home for 6 months.
So what? When you're married to Rita Hayworth, where do you want to go?
Oh, I never thought of that. Well, it was nice of you to call, Mr. Kitzel. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Benny. Shoot a clam for me.
I told you I'm not going. Goodbye. Oh, Rochester.
Yes, boss?
Look, I'm kind of tired. I think I'll go upstairs and go to bed early tonight. I have rehearsal tomorrow, and I don't... For heaven's sake, what's that? Take it easy. Take it easy. I'm coming.
Are you Benny?
Yes?
Jack Benny?
Yes, yes.
Good. The car's at the curb, the motor's running. Let's go.
Yeah, come on, the motor's running.
What are you fellas talking about?
We're from the Sagebrush Soap Company.
Yeah, we came to take you to Pismo Beach.
Wait a minute.
You won the contest.
What a slogan.
And now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on a shade.
Look, fellas,
Come
look.
on, Benny. Get your clam shovel. We'll be on our way.
I'm not getting any clam shovel. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
Go to bed? Are you trying to insult the Sagebrush Soap Company?
Yeah, you didn't win no ordinary prize like a trip to Honolulu.
Or the Havana.
You won a trip to Pismo Beach.
I know. They mentioned it on the radio.
What a slogan.
And now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on a shade.
For heaven's sakes, fellas. Now, look.
Come on, Benny. The motor's running.
Let go of my arm.
Come on.
Stop pulling me. Do you hear? Stop. I'm not going to go.
You're going to spend 6 glorious weeks at Pismo Beach if we have to drag you there.
Now, let go of me.
Grab him, Joe.
I got him.
Fellas, please.
What a slogan.
And now is the hour to take a shower while the
Fellas, now, look, this is ridiculous. Now, turn me loose or I'll sue your company. Now, get out of here. You hear? Get out. I said out. 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 Wow. The last time I ever entered a contest. Imagine those guys coming in here trying to force me to...
Boss, I thought you'd gone.
Gone? No one's going to make... Rochester, where are you going with your suitcase?
Well, I figured while you were spending 6 glorious weeks at Pismo Beach, I'd go and have my other tonsil taken out.
Well, I'm not going. You can have that done tomorrow during your lunch hour.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my extreme pleasure now to present the Vice President of the Columbia Broadcasting System, Mr. Howard Meagan.
Ladies and gentlemen. I'm here on behalf of the Columbia Broadcasting System to offer our congratulations to Jack Benny for having won the greatest honor that has ever been bestowed on a radio artist. Radio Daily conducted a poll among all of the radio editors and columnists in the United States and Canada. And Jack Benny was selected as the greatest radio personality in the past 25 years.
Gee, I'm only 39.
Well, seriously, Jack, CBS wants to add their congratulations to the many you've no doubt already received.
Well, thank you, Mr. Meagan, and I'm very grateful and very proud of this honor. I want to thank Radio Daily, who conducted the poll, and the radio editors and columnists of the United States and Canada. I'd like everyone to know that this tribute is equally shared with my cast, my writers, in fact, every member of my staff. And I also want to thank you listeners who have been so loyal through the years. Thanks very much.
Jack will be back in just a moment, but first...
Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. And that's because LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Fine, light, naturally mild tobacco that gives you smoothness and mildness with never a rough puff. Listen to what Mr. Tom Jones, an independent tobacco auctioneer from Mount Airy, North Carolina, recently said.
In 18 years of auctioneering at market after market, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy fine tobacco. Fine, ripe cigarette tobacco that makes a smooth, mild smoke. I've smoked Luckies for 15 years.
Millions of smokers, including the glamorous movie star Marlene Dietrich, take a tip from the experts and smoke Lucky Strike. Just recently, lovely Miss Dietrich said,
"Every Lucky Strike I've ever smoked has tasted mild and smooth to me.
That's the big reason why I've smoked them for many years.
And for your own real deep down smoking enjoyment, light up a Lucky. Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. Get a carton today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about the 1950 Easter seal sale for crippled children. In these trying days when so much thought and money is being spent to destroy, what a wonderful thing it is to be able to give someone a chance to mend. The Easter Seal campaign, the Easter Seal campaign does just that by helping crippled children. So won't you please send what you can, as soon as you can, to Crippled Children, Post Office Box 5050, Chicago 80, Illinois. Oh, excuse me. Hello? Oh, hello, Mary. Gee, I'm sorry you couldn't come over to my house today. We had such excitement. How's your Gesundheit? How's your Gesundheit? Mary, how's your Gesundheit? Gee, that was a long one. What? Oh, I was going to ask you how your cold was, but never mind. What'd you say, Mary? Oh, you heard what Mr. Megan said? Well, thanks, Mary. I feel very happy about it. So long, Dow.
Be sure to hear Dennis Day and A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Stay tuned to the Ennis and Andy Show, which follows immediately. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
I don't care. I would have taken the vacation, but then maybe I'm cheaper than Jack. 74 years ago, March 12th, 1950, the Jack Benny program here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up next, two shows from Wednesday, March 12th, 1952. We'll hear later Groucho Marx, but first, Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve.
They say neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night. Ow! What?
Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night will hold up your mail. But you can if you don't use zip codes. Be sure to use zip code on every letter and package you send, and always include your own zip code in your return address. That way, others will have it when they write to you. Remember, mail moves the country, and zip code moves the mail.
Oh, trash cans, dogs. At least a zip code.
We'll have a crime tomorrow on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with episodes of Mr. District Attorney, Night Beat. We'll also have an episode of Have Gun Will Travel and Gunsmoke and Lum and Abner. That's all coming up tomorrow. So we'll have some crime and some westerns and some silliness. So that's all coming up mañana. Right now, we head to the first of two shows from Wednesday, March 12th, 1952, 72 years ago. We'll start off at 8:30 Eastern Time with an episode of Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve. This episode is entitled Train Trip to Omaha.
The Kraft Foods Company presents Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve. The Great Gildersleeve is brought to you, partially transcribed, by the Kraft Foods Company. Kraft, makers of Velveeta, the famous pasteurized, processed cheese food that tastes so good and is so good for you. Yes, Velveeta is another of the Kraft family of fine foods. Foods you can depend on for delicious eating, for wholesome, healthy eating. So remember, to get the cheese food of quality, get Velveeta, the cheese food that's made by Kraft. Well,
it's Friday afternoon in Summerfield. School is out, and the Great Gildersleeve's nephew, Leroy, is heading for home. But he isn't exactly burning up the sidewalk. He seems to be puzzled about something. He walks a few steps. Then he stops.
There's something going on.
He walks a little further. And then he stops.
I can tell when Unc's trying to pull something. I can see through him like a book.
Now, as he walks on, his nose lifts to the wind. Like a beagle, he catches a scent. And there he goes. Up the walk. Down the driveway. Up the back steps. Through the back door.
Hi, Bertie, making donuts?
Leroy, where'd you come from?
School, where are the donuts?
On the table cooling, but them belong to Miss Marjorie.
Oh, boy.
Leroy, you stay away. Those are for the Girl Scouts.
Okay, I'm a Girl Scout.
Get your hands off that.
Okay. Hey, have you and Bertie noticed anything funny about Uncle Mort lately?
What do you mean?
Well, he's been acting awful funny, hasn't he, Bertie?
He ain't been acting no funnier than usual.
He has to me. I noticed this morning when I came downstairs.
Get away from the donuts.
What? Oh, gee, my hands just drifted that way. Must be magnetism. Well, this morning when we were eating breakfast, he had a kind of a look on his face. Kind of smiling. Especially when we were talking about next week.
I didn't notice any look.
Well, kind of like the cat that ate the canary. I'll bet you anything he's trying to pull a fast one on somebody.
Get away from those donuts.
I was just waving my arm.
Well, wave it the other way. You're making this silly talk about Uncle Mort just so you can snitch something.
I am not. Something fishy. And it's something to do with me.
Leroy, your uncle wouldn't put nothing over on you.
No, but he's going to try.
How you know?
I met him on the way home from school, and he took me to Peavy's drugstore and bought me a soda. And I didn't even ask him.
Hurry up, Judge. Answer the door. Pokey old goat.
Who's there?
Don't glare at me through that peephole, Judge.
Is that you, Gilder?
Do I look like Eisenhower? Let me in.
Come in, Gilder. I couldn't tell who it was at first. You had the end of your cigar in the peephole.
All right, Judge.
I thought at first the front porch was on fire.
I can't stay, Judge. I'm on my way home. Stopped in to see if I could borrow your big suitcase. You know, the one with the Palm Beach stickers on it.
Oh, certainly. Now, where is that big suitcase? Do you have it?
If I had it, I wouldn't be here to borrow it.
Oh, that's right. I recall now. I loaned it to Miss Matterhorn last June when she drove to Duluth. But I can get it for you, Gilda.
Oh, that's fine, Judge. Can I have it soon?
I'll bring it by first thing in the morning. Where are you going?
Well, keep this under your hat. But I'm going to a water commissioners' meeting in Omaha. Taking the train.
Why is it under the hat? Is it illegal?
It's because of Leroy, Judge. Every year when I make this trip, he pesters me to go along. Last April, the meeting was in Sheboygan. The only place in the world he wanted to go was Sheboygan. Pestered me night and day. Right, George, I'm not going through it again this year.
How can you help it? He's bound to find out you're going.
No, he won't. You're the only one who knows where I'm going. And I'll do my packing in the garage and I'll sneak out. Send him a wire after I'm on the train.
Well, I hope it works. Leroy is pretty sharp.
Well, I'm sharper. And I'm going to fool him this time. Nobody knows I'm going but you and me. If you don't spill the beans, he can't find out.
Don't you worry about me. There's no holes in this beanbag.
Fine. See you in the morning, Judge. Say, it's after 9 o'clock, Leroy. How does it happen you're staying home on Friday night?
Well, when you said you were going to stay home tonight, Unc, I decided I'd stay home, too. I'm happy when I'm with you.
Well, I'm flattered.
Yeah.
Marjorie, what about you, my dear?
Oh, Bronco's working, and I have all these boxes to wrap for the Girl Scouts. I made donuts.
I tried one.
It's the Girl Scouts' 40th birthday.
If they eat them, it'll be their last.
Oh, and they're doing wonderful work, Unky. In these times, we really need them.
That's very true indeed.
Well, what's new, Unc?
What's new?
Yeah. Any new stuff come up or anything like that?
Oh. Oh, no. Nothing at all, my boy.
Excuse me, Uncle Mort. Bertie, have you seen that ribbon?
I've been thinking, Unc. Ours has been a beautiful friendship.
Friendship?
Yeah. I don't know why, but I trust you.
You don't say.
We're not just men. We're buddies.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Well, now, I mean, if I knew something, I'd tell you right away.
What do you know?
Well, nothing right now, but if I should, I'd tell you.
Well, that's the way to do.
Anything at all that I knew, I'd tell you.
Well, good. Where's the inside section of the paper?
Anything at all. You're sitting on it.
Oh, yes.
I guess it must be pretty keen having a nephew like me.
What's this?
A buddy you can tell stuff to.
Leroy, what kind of stuff are you hinting at?
Oh, all kinds. I'll listen to anything.
Well, I appreciate your companionship, my boy. But there's a big difference between being a patient listener and being just plain nosy. And you're nosy.
Unc, I'm just interested in you.
Leroy, I know what you're trying to find out. You're wasting your time, and you know it.
How do I know it? I don't even know what I'm trying to find out.
Well, you're not going to know either. This is one time when your old uncle is going to keep something strictly to himself.
Keep what to yourself?
What I'm keeping.
What you gonna do, Unc?
I'm going to take a little nap in the couch.
Okay. I think I'll get something to eat. Hi, Bertie. What you doing?
Well, if this kitchen was a boat and this ironing board was the rail, I'd be sailing to Honolulu. But the way it is, I'm just pressing your uncle's pants.
Oh, boy.
Say, I heard you in there prying away at your uncle. Did you fry up anything?
Nah, he's got something cooking, though. And it's something to do with me.
How you know?
I can smell it. This is frustrating.
Didn't he give you a hint?
Nothing.
Well, I was reading in the digest there about how some folks will talk in their sleep. Now, if you can't get anything out of him when he's awake, well, you ought to try him when he's snoozing.
Nah. All he says when he's asleep is reeble-deeble and what you for.
I don't know. Here's the article right here, and it says, button your lip on the pillow slip.
Let me see here. It has been found that certain people, if spoken to while asleep, will reply and often answer questions without awakening. Hey, I wonder if that would work with Unc.
Now, don't ask me, and I didn't put you up to nothing. I just mentioned it. That's all. I just mentioned it.
Gee, I wonder.
Now, Leroy, don't you get me in no cahoots.
We gotta try it.
We don't have to try nothing. Don't you get me in no cahoots.
What are you scared of?
I ain't scared of nothing. Don't you get me in no cahoots.
Well, I'm going in and see if he's asleep. Yeah, he's rolling. Oh, brother, listen to that. What a sawmill. How can I talk to him with all that racket? Hey, Unc. This could be a pretty dull conversation. Hey, Unc. Uncle Mort, you're planning something and you aren't telling anybody.
You're not telling anybody.
Hey, I got a spark out of him. What are you gonna do, Uncle Mort?
Did you bet Don't say a thing to Leroy.
Leroy is a bum.
No, he isn't. She's my nephew's. But he's nosy.
I am not.
There she is, too.
What are you going to do, Uncle Morris?
She's taking the train to the water commissioners meeting. Omaha.
Oh, going to Omaha? Gee, hey, Unc, wake up, Unc.
What's this?
Wake up, Unc.
Leroy? What's the matter?
Unc, can I go to Omaha with you?
You what?
Can I go to Omaha with you? I've never been to Omaha. Can I go?
Leroy, who told you I was going to Omaha?
Oh, Bird.
Bird? Whoosh. He must have been Judge Hooker. He was the only one who knew. Wait till I get my hands on that gabby old goat.
The Great Gildersleeve will be back in just a minute. Need an idea for a tempting, satisfying Lenten main dish? Then how about a pinwheel vegetable casserole? You make it with carrots, onions, green beans, peas, and a wonderful Velveeta cream sauce, and you top the Velveeta vegetable mixture with biscuit pinwheels. Now, you'll find the exact recipe for this pinwheel vegetable casserole, along with recipes for 8 other hearty, delicious Lenten main dishes, in a handy folder packed right in the 2-pound box of Velveeta, Kraft's famous pasteurized processed cheese food. So when you buy Velveeta, and remember, I mean the 2-pound loaf, just lift out the golden cheese food, and under it you'll find the folder of 9 wonderful main dish recipes. Every one of them sure to be delicious because Velveeta has such a marvelous, rich, yet mild cheddar cheese flavor. And you can be sure the main dishes you make with Velveeta will be nourishing, too, because Velveeta is rich in high-quality, complete protein, as well as other important food values from milk. What's more, Velveeta is the cheese food every member of the family can enjoy because it's digestible as milk itself. Stop at your grocer's tomorrow and take home a 2-pound loaf of Velveeta. Just be sure you see the name Velveeta on the package you buy. Remember, Velveeta is the cheese food of top quality, and it's made only by Kraft. Well, the new day has dawned on the home of the Great Gildersleeve, but the secret of the Water Commissioner's trip to Omaha is no longer a secret. The cat is out of the bag.
Unc, where are you, Unc?
I'm in here, shaving.
Can I go with you to Omaha?
No.
I won't get in the way, Unc.
No?
I'll save you money. I'll wear short pants and go for half fare.
No.
I'll get in the trunk and ride in the baggage car.
No.
Miss Gildersleeve, Judge Hooker's outside.
Yeah, that hooker, I want to talk to him. Feather-brained old blabbermouth.
He didn't tell me.
Leroy, don't stand there and fib to me. He's the only one who knew I was going.
Miss Gildersleeve.
All right, Bertie.
Judge Hooker's outside.
I heard you, Bertie.
You coming?
Yes.
Can I go, Unc?
No.
Well, I'm telling yes or no.
Oh, this family. Out of the way, Leroy.
You got shaving cream on your face.
I know it. By George, life is a losing battle.
Judge Hooker stand out on the porch. For some reason, he don't want to come in.
He probably wants room to run. And he'll need it.
What's the matter? What happened?
Judge.
Morning, Gildy. I brought the big suitcase over. I didn't want to bring it in the house. Leroy might ask questions.
Don't try to pull the wool over my eyes.
What's happened to your face? Did you sit too close to the television and somebody hit you with a pie?
This is shaving cream, and quit changing the subject. What's the idea of telling Leroy I was going to Omaha?
Who told him?
You did.
I did not.
Judge, don't point your chin whiskers at me. You did, and you know it.
Don't you shake your fat finger under my nose, you overblown water merchant. I'll throw you.
Ow!
Stand back. You're blowing shaving cream on my glasses.
Judge, tell me the truth. Did you spill the beans to Leroy?
I did not. I haven't seen Leroy.
Well, then who did it? You're the only one who knew. There's nobody else.
That's a mystery to me. Maybe he just took a guess at it.
He couldn't have.
Well, it's beyond me. I brought the suitcase over. It's in your garage.
Thanks, Judge. I guess you're a good friend after all. But if you were the only one
I'm not going through that again. Have a nice time in Omaha.
Goodbye, Judge.
Miss Gildersleeve, breakfast!
All right, Bertie.
Hey, Aunt!
Oh, here it goes again.
Look, I got a map and I found Omaha.
Could I have my breakfast?
Sure, you eat and I'll tell you some keen stuff.
I can't eat with that map on the table. You got Montreal in my oatmeal.
Okay.
I don't want to hear any more about the trip. We're not going to mention it again.
Okay.
Who told you I was going?
We're not talking about it anymore.
Leroy, don't be stubborn.
Good morning, Unky. Leroy.
Marjorie. Right, George, that's the answer. The judge told you I was going on a trip, didn't he?
What trip?
The one we're not talking about.
Unky, I haven't seen Judge Hooker for a week.
Are we talking about it again?
Of course we're talking about it.
Can I go, Unc?
Leroy, I told you...
What's this all about? I must have missed something.
Unc's going to Omaha on a train, and maybe I can go with him. Maybe, Unc?
I didn't say maybe.
Okay, perhaps.
No.
Okay, but there's a chance.
No.
Unky, you're shouting.
Well, I have to shout to get the idea across to your brother. He's been pestering and teasing and heckling since last night. He hasn't stopped once. That's why I didn't want him to know I was going. If I ever find the knucklehead who told him.
I'm sorry, Unc.
Well, let's forget it. We'll let bygones be bygones.
Who did tell you, Leroy?
Sure. Just for fun, who was it?
No, let's let bygones be bygones.
All right, all right.
What's the matter, Unky?
Nothing. Just eat. Everybody eat. I'm perfectly all right.
Unc.
Doesn't matter to me one way or the other. Not a bit.
Unc.
Yes.
You're spreading jam on your napkin.
Hello, Petey.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can I do for you this morning?
Peavy, the first thing you can do for me is answer a question.
Well, there's no charge for information.
Did Judge Hooker tell you I was going to Omaha?
No. But I recall that he did tell me you were going to Chicago.
Chicago? When was this?
Back in 1932, I believe it was.
Peavy, I'm talking about now. Yesterday. Last night.
That covers quite a bit of time.
Peavy, stop beating around the bush.
Man, quit chasing me.
Have you talked to the judge since yesterday?
Let's see, have I?
Don't ask me. I'm asking you.
No, I don't believe I have.
Well, confound it, Peavy. Somebody told Leroy I was going to Omaha. Somebody had to tell him.
All right. What about it?
What about it? Nobody did. That's what about it. The boy isn't a magician. How'd he find out?
Don't ask me.
Driving me crazy. How would you feel if you saw something happen that you couldn't explain? What would you do if your soda fountain suddenly rose up in the air and floated around the room?
I'd call the plumber.
Probably would. Well, I'm not licked yet. I'll get to the bottom of this if it kills me.
Say, Leroy, what you doing with that bag?
I'm packing some stuff.
Where you think you going?
I'm going with Unc to Omaha.
What you mean? You heard what your uncle said at breakfast.
Just give me time. I'm not licked yet. I haven't even started. That you, Unc?
Yes, it's me.
Here, Bertie, take the bag. Duck it in the kitchen.
There you go. Get me into cahoots again. I don't know why Mr. Gildersleeve got to go to Omaha anyhow.
Hi, Unc.
Leroy, don't start anything.
I'm not starting anything.
Well, don't.
I just said hi.
And don't grin at me either. You're not as smart as you think you are, you know.
I know it.
I'll find out where you got that information. I have ways, you know.
Sure you will.
This may seem like a very clever trick to you, but it's very simple to me. I have a few brains, too.
Oh, I know. You're one of the smartest men I know. You've lived longer than I have.
Well, just don't forget it.
You've done a lot of things and been a lot of places and seen a lot of things that I've never seen. I'm just a little kid. I've never been anywhere.
Well, you'll have your chance.
It's tough, Unc, being a kid. Everybody else gets to do things and go places.
Now, Leroy.
Other people have money. They can do things. A little kid doesn't have any money. He has to sit and wait for somebody to take him.
Don't start that again.
I sit here at home day after day. Lonely. You're away at the office. I have nobody to talk to.
You do, too.
Just women. I want to be with you, Unc. I miss you when you're away. I sit all alone and look at your picture.
Leroy.
I'm wasting the most beautiful years of my life. I won't be a little boy very long. I'll be grown up and gone away.
There's lots of time.
This is when I need you, Unc. When we should be together. Taking trips. To Omaha.
What an actor. Leroy, I'll make a deal with you.
You will? Can I go?
Not so fast. You were pretty slick finding out I was going on this trip. Well, if you can find out when I'm leaving, I'll take you along.
No kidding.
No kidding. And I'll tell you right now, it isn't going to be easy because you have no Judge Hooker or anybody else. I haven't told anybody I'm going.
Gee, I guess I'm out of luck.
Now, let it be a lesson to you, boy. Hiding things from your old uncle, prying secrets from my friends, bound to catch up with you in the long run.
Yeah, you're always so right about everything, Unc.
Well, I'm right about most things.
Unc, you look kind of tired.
Me? I just got up.
Your eyes look kind of heavy. Maybe you didn't sleep very well last night.
As a matter of fact, I didn't. After you woke me up.
Why don't you stretch out on the couch, Unc? Sure looks comfortable, doesn't it?
Leroy, stop pushing.
Well, I want you to protect your health. You're the only uncle I have.
Well, nice of you to take such an interest, my boy. The couch does feel good.
Sure.
Don't feel too badly about not going to Omaha with me, Leroy. You'll have your chance.
Sure. Maybe real soon.
Yeah.
Unc. Uncle Mort, when are you going to Omaha?
Just leaving on the 8:15 tonight.
8:15? Oh, I'm working on the railroad!
Leroy, what's that racket?
Just me singing.
Yeah, be a little more quiet.
By the way, Unc, you better be getting ready if we're leaving on the 8:15 tonight.
Yeah, I suppose it's... What? Leroy!
Pack my bag, Bertie. Here we go.
The Great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just 30 seconds. Any between-meal appetites at your house? Then make it a point to keep stock with Velveeta, Kraft's golden pasteurized processed cheese food. Velveeta is not only a wonderful helper for hot main dishes, it's a perfect snack food, too. It's delicious with a fine, rich, yet mild cheddar cheese flavor, and it's wholesome. What's more, Velveeta is digestible as milk itself, so it's perfect any time for anyone. Get it tomorrow. Velveeta, made by Kraft.
Good night, my boy. Wonderful the way a kid takes to a train. You wish I could be that comfortable in an upper berth. Do a little reading. Darn lower berth is pretty tight. You wonder how Leroy figured out when I was leaving. It's amazing. Digest magazine. I wonder if there's anything worth reading in here. Button your lip on the pillow slip. People answer questions in their sleep. Say, silly. But I wonder if that'd work on Leroy. Leroy, are you awake? He's asleep. Get this darn ladder over. Curtains. Leroy. Leroy. How did you know I was going on this trip? How did you find out when I was going?
Go back to bed, Unc. Good night.
Oh, what's the use? Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Willard Waterman. The show is written by John Elliott and Andy White and is partially transcribed. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Mary Lee Robb, Lillian Randolph, Earl Ross, and Dick LeGrand. Musical compositions by Jack Meakin. This is John Heaston saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Done up just right, a delicious hamburger can be truly a gourmet's delight, a big deal in eating pleasure. Of course, just about every good cook knows that a dash of Kraft prepared mustard really makes a hamburger. Because when you add a little mustard, you add a lot of tang. Kraft mustard, naturally. There are two kinds of Kraft prepared mustard. Mild Kraft mustard, if you like it smooth and delicately spiced. Snappy Kraft mustard with horseradish added, if you like it nippy. Get both kinds of Kraft prepared mustard at your food store.
Next, Groucho Marx presents You Bet Your Life on NBC.
And that's exactly what we're going to hear next after a look at the news. From March 12th, 1952, 72 years ago, Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Hope you'll come visit our webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows, learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can find our social media links there, and you can also buy me a copy to help support the program. We also have a post there with a few items available for purchase that also support us, Amazon links. Amazon did some weird things, and apparently we used to have a whole bunch of links up there, and then all at once the links disappeared. Don't know what was going on. But the news from 72 years ago today come up in just a moment.
The Postmaster General of the United States, W. Marvin Watson.
Each year, the mail load increases by billions of letters, parcels, and publications. To handle this tremendous volume of mail, we need a modern postal system, and we're working toward that goal. What can be done now? The easiest, fastest way to improve mail service is to use zip code. With zip code, mail can be sorted faster and more efficiently. Help yourself to better postal service. Use zip code.
And now on this Tuesday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, it's time for us to go back to Wednesday, March 12th, 1952, 72 years ago. We just heard the 8:30 broadcast of The Great Gildersleeve, starring Willard Waterman. Now we're going to hear the 9 o'clock Eastern Time broadcast of Groucho Marx. But first, let's take a look at the newspapers of the day, shall we? Toledo's striking railway workers decided last night to quit their unions and stay on strike. This was announced by R.I. Johnson, the local chairman of the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers, after a mass meeting of 500 strikers. He said all of the local officers had resigned and that a new independent union would be formed. From Korea, Allied truce delegates, fed up with communist stalling, faced their toughest test of patience to keep the deadlock talks alive. Exasperated by the Reds' verbal gymnastics, U.S. Rear Admiral R.E. Libby told the communists during yesterday's meeting, "We're getting fed up with your attempts to make things appear as facts that are not facts." Even General Matthew B. Ridgway irked to the point of calling the communist negotiators liars, but in carefully chosen phrases. The Allied Supreme Commander, briefly visiting Munsan from Tokyo, said the future of the truce talks was unpredictable. Meanwhile, Allied planes dealt a knockout blow yesterday to a Great Red Base only 30 miles from the truce town of Panmunjom, leaving a sea of flames that looked like hell itself. In other news, Newbold Morris faced a battery of Senate investigators yesterday and briskly told them they would find no wrongdoing in the part he played in a profitable series of surplus ship deals. If some of the ships were used later in trade with Red China, he said, it was not his doing. He only found out about it by reading the papers. President Truman's anti-corruption chief drew a capacity crowd when he appeared before a Senate subcommittee for the first time in his extraordinary role of the investigator under investigation. And a 46-year-old Milwaukee ex-convict who once served time for the murder was held in a $50,000 bond yesterday for interstate transportation of stolen property. The FBI said it was part of the estimated $1.5 million loot taken from a Reno, Nevada mansion February 29th. Andrew Robert Young, caught yesterday at the small Milwaukee apartment where he lived with his wife and her 5 children, had a preliminary hearing before U.S. Commissioner Floyd E. Jenkins. Action adjourned for a week when U.S. Attorney Timothy T. Crosland told the court that a Reno warrant had not arrived. Up in New Hampshire's, General Dwight Eisenhower led Senator Taft, the Republican of Ohio, in a close race as Senator Kefauver, the Democrat of Tennessee, pulled ahead of President Truman in the nation's first presidential primary. The Eisenhower-Taft popularity battle, in which Taft once led, seemed pointed toward a narrow finish as returns rolled in. Well, the rats in the lab at Mount Sinai Hospital never had it so good. They eat spaghetti, guzzle wine, and lap up olive oil. Doctors at the hospital say persons of Italian birth or descent seem to suffer from cirrhosis of the liver more than other people. They wonder if it's because of the food. So the rats are being fed a typical Italian diet to see what happens. Though some of the day's top news stories, as they were reported in the newspapers of Wednesday, March 12, 1952. Coming up in just a moment, Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life. And what's the secret word?
When you look over your morning mail, there's one thing you can be sure of. The bills always seem to arrive right on time. How do they do it? Ever notice that businessmen use zip code? How about you? Use zip code on all your mail and keep the good news moving fast, too. Don't tie up the mail. Use zip code.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we wrap up these shows from March 12, 1952. As 72 years ago today, Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life. And Mr. Fenneman, if you please.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is sky. S-K-Y.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
That's me. I won't run unless I'm drafted. Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples.
Groucho, we invited some police women to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected, Miss Geraldine Smith.
Steady now.
I got it. And her partner is a husband from the audience, Mr. William Eaton. Folks, come on in here and meet Groucho Marx, will you? Please.
Well, welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Miss Geraldine Smith, you're the policewoman?
Yes, I am.
And you have very pretty teeth besides.
Well, thank you.
Are you married?
No, I'm not married yet.
Well, you have extra pretty teeth. Mr. William Eaton?
Uh-huh.
Where are you from?
Socorro, New Mexico.
How'd you meet your wife?
I was walking down Hill Street between 7th and 8th a few years ago. I saw this young lady pass me. I went a few feet and decided I'd like to have another look. So I turned around to go in her direction and met her coming back in my direction.
Well, did you make a practice of patrolling this street? Or was this just some kind of a curious quirk this night? Huh?
I think I was strictly on a innocent mission.
I see. Well, that'll teach you a lesson. Sadie Spade, is that you? No. How long have you been a female flatfoot?
I've been a
Miss
woman
Smith?
police officer for the past 5 years now.
A woman police officer, I see.
Yes, sir.
You don't like being called a flatfoot, eh?
No, I don't.
Well, I can't call you a bull because that'd be ridiculous. What sort of work do you do, Mr. Eaton, outside of 7th and 8th? You must have some other occupation, I presume.
I'm an escrow officer. I work in an escrow company.
Oh, you're not a cop, huh?
No, I'm strictly an impartial third person. Hold money and hold funds and documents until certain conditions have been complied with.
You're a third party, huh?
A third party.
Well, who's your candidate?
The fourth party.
Well, Copper, I see you're still hanging around. I may run you in for loitering, you know. I'm curious now. Just how do you get to be a female flatfoot? I mean, a woman police officer.
Well, first of all, you have to take a written, oral, and a physical agility examination from the city that you're applying to.
What are some of these tests that you take, Geraldine?
Well,
What a silly name for a policeman, huh?
Jerry is perfectly
Imagine
right.
calling a cop in the middle of the night and having Geraldine show up. Well, tell us something about the tests. What do they consist of?
Well, we have the hand grip test, and then we have the shoulder spread test.
What's a shoulder spread? Is that anything like a sandwich spread?
Oh, no.
Or a middle-aged spread? Or...
No. That's the using a machine that tests for the amount of pull of the muscles.
I see. The more pull you can exert, the better job you get. Is that it?
Well, it might be classed as partially that.
Well, now, you mentioned a hand grip. What is that anything like a Gladstone bag?
No, again.
Well, it could be.
The hand grip is gripping an instrument that records the number of poundage pressure that you can exert
I see.
in your grip.
Well, recently, I've been losing my grip. Would you object to testing my grip?
No.
How is it, huh? Here's my hand. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You have nice
This is
hands.
fun. I don't know whether she's going to lead me to the altar or into jail. How does it feel, huh?
You have nice hands.
Nice hands, huh? They should be. I rub them every night with cottage cheese. Well, you make an arresting couple, and it's been most interesting talking to you two.
Thank you.
Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,500 question. But first, you can learn something by paying attention to this.
Presenting the most spectacular new car ever built, the DeSoto Fire Dome 8, with the famous 160 horsepower Fire Dome V8 engine. This sensational new engine has hemispherical or dome-shaped combustion chambers, a revolutionary new design that gives you more power from every drop of gas. And that means the DeSoto Fire Dome 8, operating on regular gasoline, actually outperforms other cars using premium fuels. It means when you get behind the wheel of the exciting new DeSoto Fire Dome 8, you get instant acceleration. You go from a standing start to cruising speeds in a matter of brief seconds. And at any speed range, you have tremendous reserve power. Power to spare should you need it. Yes, friends, the new DeSoto Fire Dome 8 has power written all over it. So tomorrow, go to your DeSoto Plymouth dealer and see America's most talked about new car. The new 160 horsepower DeSoto Fire Dome 8.
All right, now let's see how you work together as a team. George, explain the rules.
You bet as much of your $20.
It's fascinating, Flatfoot.
You bet as much of your $20 as you want on each of 4 questions, and the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,500 DeSoto Plymouth question later in the show.
All right, here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected famous inventions and discoveries as your category. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
1950.
Talk up, Geraldine.
1975.
Talk right up as though you were making a
1975, he says.
Who invented the magnetic telegraph?
Marconi.
Marconi.
Talk it over.
Marconi?
Is that Edison?
Well, Edison?
No, I'm sorry. It's Morse.
Oh,
It was so easy, you fell right over it.
Samuel Morse.
All right, now you got 2 bets left.
Yeah.
How much are you going to bet?
20 cents. 20 cents?
20 cents. All right, remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. That's the big money anyhow. You're going to bet 20 cents. Who invented the cotton gin?
Gin.
Whitney.
Whitney.
Eli Whitney is right.
You now have 45 cents.
40 cents.
How much are you going to bet? 40 cents? Who evolved the special theory of relativity?
Einstein.
Einstein is right.
If you're climbing, you have 85 cents.
That's some climb, all right. You're practically in the cellar. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 85 will you go for?
85.
All right. Who invented the motion picture machine?
Is that Edison?
Eastman.
Talk it over.
Eastman.
Take a stab.
Eastman.
No, it's Thomas Edison.
They went broke completely.
Well, nobody leaves here broke. We'll give you one more question, answer it correctly, and we'll see that you win $25. Ready? What kind of an animal was Peter Rabbit? A rabbit is right. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Groucho, we have a housewife and a man with an interesting occupation for you now. They were chosen from our studio audience just before we went on the air. Mrs. Maria Galarza, Mr. James Hershey. Come on in here and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, folks, to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Maria Galarza and Mr. James Hershey, eh? What kind of a name is Galarza?
It is of Spanish extraction.
Oh, I knew him very well. He's a dentist in Mexico City. He does Spanish extractions. Yes, he does. Were you born in Spain, Maria?
No, I come from Bronzell, Germany.
You come from Bronxville?
Bronzell, Germany.
Oh, then I presume your husband's name is Galarza. Is he the Mexican dentist?
No, he's an American with a Spanish name.
Well, how long did you know each other before he popped the question?
We knew each other about a year, and then he proposed, and then he left for the States.
This was after you accepted him? He left for the States?
No.
That's the old Army game for you. Well, what did you do? Did you pursue him?
Well, after he found out that he couldn't bring me to the States as an alien, he had to come back to Germany. So we got married in Germany.
I see. Jim, I imagine that's you over there, huh?
That's right.
Where are you from, Jim?
Well, I was born a couple of blocks from the slaughterhouse in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Was that of any help?
I wouldn't know.
What sort of work do you do?
I'm a lecturer Groucho.
I see. Where do you do your lecturing?
Well, mostly in luncheon clubs or dinner meetings and places like that.
Mm-hmm. What do you must get pretty tired of cream chicken and peas, don't you? What kind of lectures, what are the subjects that you lecture on, Jim?
Well, for example, if I were talking to a women's club, I would talk about leadership and how they can take a more active part in politics, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Is that all?
Well...
What are some of the problems you try to settle? Could you give us an example?
Well, as an example, if a woman, were concerned with fear of ability or something on that order, I discuss how to eliminate that particular fear.
How to eliminate her husband? Is that what you mean? I suppose the audience is all men. What do you tell them?
Well, if I were talking to men, I would talk probably more about success, how to become more a success, and how to find the right field.
Well, suppose a man plays left field. What do you do? How does a man find the right field?
Well,
just keeps walking between 7th and 8th on Hill Street, I suppose.
Well, to sum it up, Groucho.
I wish you would, since you haven't said anything yet.
I would tell him.
I think it's been pretty informative, Jim. And I want to thank you. I've learned a lot from you tonight, Jim. But don't ask me what. Well, sum it up, Jim. I'd really like some summation of this.
All right. I would say, if you want to find the right field, discover what makes you happy and stick to it till it pays off.
I see. Suppose a fellow's crazy about sitting under a tree all day. Now, Maria, could you tell us how this country impressed you when you first disembarked?
I disembarked. I stepped out of a plane. But I was
That's right. Make a fool out of me.
No, I'm sorry. But...
You sorry what? That you disembarked or that you made a fool out of me? Maria, what are some of the things about this country that you like?
Oh, I like the people very much. They're easy to make friends with and very helpful and try to put you at ease as an alien. But also, I like the little things, like strawberry sundae.
Anything else over here that you like?
Yes, I like the wonderful entertainment that you can have right in your home. For instance, television or radio programs.
Well, don't they have these things in Germany?
Yes, they have radio, but the programs are not as good as over here.
What kind of programs do they have in Germany? Johannes at der Hausfrau?
Nein.
Wow, was haben Sie? Was haben Sie in Deutschland?
Oh, and we listen to popular classical music and concert music.
That's sehr gut, sehr gut.
And lectures.
Lectures?
And Groucho Marx.
Now, just a moment. You have Groucho Marx in Germany?
Yes.
He's an imposter. I haven't been in Germany in years. Who is this Schweinhund?
It's you.
Ich gebe dir einen Backpfeif, das ist hart, was?
It's you.
It's me? I've been insulted.
No, really not.
Now, come now. You really listen to You Bet Your Life in Germany?
You Bet Your Life, I do.
What is it called over there?
It's called You Bet Your Life.
Well, how do you say it in German?
Oh, du verwettest dein Leben.
Remember that, everybody. Well, how did you get the radio in Germany? I don't understand that.
Well, they have the American troops over there, and it's sponsored by the Armed Forces Network.
Oh, is that so?
Mm-hmm.
As I understand, now they take a recording of this program and they play it in Germany, eh?
That's what they do.
It's very interesting. Do the German people go out and buy DeSotos?
I guess they'd like to, but they cut out the commercials because it's for the army.
I see. We'll have to get in a commercial somehow. Attention, GIs in Europe. Next time somebody asks you what you're doing there, for the love of Pete, don't tell them Groucho sent you. Well, Maria, I hope you'll be very happy in your adopted country. And if you really want to see one of the finest things we have over here, just take a look at the new DeSoto Fire Dome 8. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life. You beat our other couples, you'll get a chance at the $1,500 question. Can't tell you how much you have to win, but George is going to remind our listeners.
The policewoman and Mr. Eaton lost all their money, so this couple has a clear field. And the secret word is sky.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected familiar operatic areas as your category. Jerry will play the music, and you tell me what opera it's from. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
$19.
$19. They line fast in Germany, huh?
$19.50, yeah.
Jerry and the boys will play their version of Ma Paris or Ah So Pure. You give me the name of the opera. Okay, Jerry. Arthur is right.
And you're off to a great start. You have $39.50.
Maria, when you know the answer, don't hop on it quite so quickly. We're paying these people an unholy salary out here.
I'll be at
Wait
your
about
side.
an hour next time. Let them play the whole opera. All right, remember you're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of the...
$39.50.
$39.50 will you bet?
I'll bet. We'll bet. $39.
Jerry and the orchestra will play the barcarolle. What opera is it from?
I have to wait. The Tales of Hoffman.
The Tales from Hoffman.
And you now have $78.50.
And here's your third question. How much of this fabulous sum are you going to bet this time?
How much?
78.
78. This aria is Vesta la Juba. What opera is it from?
Il Pagliacci.
El Pagliacci.
You now have $156.50.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much will you bet?
We bet it all.
All right, Jerry.
$156.50, right?
$156.50. Jerry will play his version of the Habanera. What opera is it from?
And you wind up with $313.
Thanks and good luck to the DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
We selected an interesting young couple from our studio audience, Groucho, and like you to meet them right now. Mr. and Mrs. James Marlowe, come on in and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. and Mrs. James Marlowe, eh? Where's your home, James? And don't spare the horses.
Nampa, Idaho.
Where?
Nampa.
Nampa?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Where is that?
That's near Boise.
Where's Boise? Is that near Guernsey? Mrs. Marlowe, what's your front name?
Renee.
Renee, huh? How'd you happen to be tagged with a moniker like Renee?
Well-
Was your mother frightened by Charles Boyer? You go to the Casbah? Where are you from, Renee?
San Francisco, near the bay.
Oh. How old are you?
24.
Oh, very young-looking wife. And what is your age, Jim?
I'm 24, too.
You look like Peter Lynn Hayes, you know that?
Is that good or bad?
No, that's good. That's good, unless you're Peter Lynn Hayes. No, he's a fine-looking lad. He must have seen them on television.
Yes,
he and
I
his
have.
wife, Mary
Yeah.
Ely. And she's a beautiful girl, and you look something like her. It's quite a resemblance. Are you sure you're not the road company of Hayes and Healy? Those two kids? Jim, do you call her Renee, or do you have other pet names for her?
Well, I call her Dink.
What do you call him, Renee?
Dinky.
Why?
Because he reminds me of one.
What is a dinky? Is it anything like a pinky? Or a dinghy?
It's a cable car in San Francisco.
It reminds you of a cable car? It must be the cable car named Desire right there. Well, that's very romantic, I think. That your husband reminds you of a cable car. Was this going uphill or down, do you remember? Dink and Dinky, eh? The only difference between you two is a Y. And you can join the Y for $9. How long have you been married, Jim?
About 5 years now.
Where did you meet your husband, Renee? I know, 7th and 8th on Hill Street. Between 15th and 16th on Chestnut Street.
No, he sat beside me in our geometry class at San Mateo High.
Geometry class? How did you find he managed to trap Jim?
We eloped to Reno.
You went to Reno to get married?
Yes.
That's the younger generation for you. They do everything backwards. Tell me, why did you elope?
Well, our parents objected.
Had they seen Jim? Was this just a general objection they had to your getting married?
I think so.
I see. Did you put a stepladder up to her window and help her down with her suitcase? Jim?
No, as a matter of fact, I didn't help her at all. Her father carried her suitcase.
That's a nice picture. She and her father going down the ladder together. What were you doing, holding the ladder?
No, as I said, I wasn't there.
You weren't even there, and she was eloping, huh? Isn't that romantic, huh?
Her father thought she was spending a weekend with a girlfriend. That's how we arranged the deal, to get out of town without being noticed.
Your father, in other words, had no idea that you were eloping. Is that it?
That's right.
That's what you think. You probably had your room rented before you rounded the corner. Jim, how did you finally break the news to your folks?
Well,
By this time, they were running the streetcar.
I sent a telegram to my folks after we were married, and I said, just married Renee, don't wait dinner.
And how about you, Renee? How did you notify your parents?
Well, I sent them a telegram, too, and I said, just married Jim, having a wonderful time.
I should think so.
Wish you were here.
I don't think her father wouldn't have showed up, but he was busy holding the ladder for his other daughter. Well, you're a nice young couple, and apparently the world is your oyster. Now just look out for the months with R in them. I said that pretty good for Neesner, huh? Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,500 DeSoto Plymouth question. You run your $20 into more than our other couples. I can't tell you how much you have to win, but Mr. Fenneman is going to remind our listeners.
The girl from Germany and Mr. Hershey lead with $313.
Laughing boy, come out here, will you? He even laughs backstage. He doesn't care. Here we go. Let's see how high I can bid you $20. You selected words beginning with the letters P-A-R. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
19.
19.
19. What is the word beginning with PAR that means the Legislative Assembly of Great Britain?
Parliament.
Parliament is right.
Well, you're off to a good start. You have $39.
And they're longer than the other cigarettes, too. Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. Now, how much of your $39 you going to bet this time?
38.
38.
All right. What is the word that means to scorch, burn, or dry to excess?
Parch.
Parch is right.
You now have $77.
I thought parch was the front part of a house. Here's your third question. How much will you bet?
How much do we have?
77.
76.
76. What is the word beginning with par that means a burlesque imitation of a serious song or poem?
Parody.
Parody is right.
You now have $153.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 153?
All of it.
Okay, now I don't want to influence you. You use your own judgment here, Jim.
It's pretty bad.
No, it's been pretty good so far.
We'll bet it all.
All right. Now, what is the word that means a lady's sun umbrella?
Parasol.
A parasol is right.
You wind up with $306, and that means the girl from Germany and Mr. Hershey with $313 in just 1 minute. Get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question. Lady, do you hate trying to park your car in a tight parking space? Do you shudder at all the pulling and tugging that goes with it? Then wait till you drive the new 160 horsepower DeSoto Fire Dome 8. The new DeSoto brings you sensational new DeSoto power steering that makes turning the steering wheel as easy as dialing a phone. That's right, with only one finger, even when the car is at a standstill. With only one finger, you can turn the wheels. Thanks to DeSoto power steering, one of the most remarkable milestones in automotive history. By an ingenious hydraulic system, power steering on the new DeSoto not only takes the hard work out of parking, but on the highway it makes your control of the car easier, safer, with less road shock. No matter how bad the road, DeSoto power steering lets you literally steer almost without effort. And friends, power steering is only one of the many great features that are yours to enjoy in the new DeSoto Fire Dome 8. See it. Drive it. Now at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. The new 160 horsepower DeSoto Fire Dome 8 with power steering. And here's the winning couple, Groucho, the girl from Germany and Mr. Hershey, all set for the $1,500 question. Right in here.
Here it is. Situated in Salisbury Plain in England is a group of ancient stone circles, thought to be more than 4,000 years old. Their exact origin is unknown, but they're believed by some archaeologists to be temples of the Druids. For $1,500, tell me, what is this group of ruins called? Talk it over. All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon? If you don't know, guess.
Don't know.
Nothing? I'm sorry. The correct answer is Stonehenge. And our source for this is the Encyclopedia Americana. So that means the big question next week will be worth $2,000. Well, you lost the big money, but they won quite a lot. How much did they win the quiz, George?
$313
Well, it's not too bad. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Thank you very much.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $2,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, see the DeSoto Fire Dome 8 tomorrow.
Folks, here's a rhyme from the National Safety Council. The rules for driving safety add up to only 3: common sense and caution, and common courtesy. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith, music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
Originally broadcast at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on March 12th, 1952, 72 years ago today. You Bet Your Life with Groucho Marx. By the way, you sad about them only winning $313? Today, that $313 they were splitting back then had a purchasing power of over $3,600, so that's no chicken feed, you know. Got to think about it that way. Up next, after I remind you, tomorrow, Crime with Mr. District Attorney, Night Beat. Also an episode of Have Gun, Will Travel, and Gunsmoke. And an episode of Lum and Abner. That's all coming up next time around here. when we get together on Wednesday here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now coming up next, we will head for Wistful Vista, 79 to be precise, and see what's going on in the household of Fibber, McGee, and Molly.
Dear Ralph, I am writing to tell you that I have reached a decision about what we should do.
Dear Mom, our platoon was on bivouac last week, so this is my first chance to write.
Dear Eddie, thanks for inviting me to your party. I had a very good time, and
The letters we write are so important to us and to the people who are waiting for them. So when you write, take the extra 3 seconds required to add zip code to the mailing address. Zip code helps improve mail service, helps our postal workers to sort mail faster and deliver it by more direct routes. That's why zip belongs on every mailing address, and on your return address, too, so others can easily zip their mail to you. Help improve mail service by using zip code. It will bring you a little bit closer to everyone you know.
And now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we jump all the way back, to 84 years ago, March 12th, 1940, for an episode of Fibber McGee and Molly, and it is a very special week, and Molly's going to get something nice. You watch.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coats present Marion and Jim Jordan as Fibber McGee and Molly, with Bill Thompson, the King's Men, and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with Jericho. Here's a reminder. This is Make a Pal of Your Wife Week. Send the little woman some flowers. Send her a box of candy. Take her out to lunch. Now, wait a minute. Let's see. Flowers would come to about $5. Candy about $2. Yes, you better make it lunch. Anyway, that's the way the Squire of 79 Wistful Vista has figured it out as we meet Fibber McGee and Molly.
Hey, Molly, I got an idea.
What about? And move over a little, please. I want to dust that chair.
I got an idea about lunch.
Well, let's not discuss lunch quite yet. I haven't had time to do the breakfast dishes.
Oh, well, let the dishes go.
I'll do no such a thing.
Oh, well, use some others. We got other dishes, ain't we?
No, we haven't.
We haven't? What become of that set of dishes we won at the Bijou Theater this winter?
Why, don't you remember?
Huh?
You stayed for the second show and threw them at the picture.
Well, I hope I didn't hurt Theda Barrow with that gravy boat. But look, Molly, what
McGee,
Huh?
Where did you lay that half-smoked cigar?
Oh, right there on the arm of the chair. Why? You want to drag on it?
Don't be silly. But is that any place to put a lighted cigar?
No, I guess it ain't at that. I'll put it up here on the mantel where I can...
Put it in the ashtray. What's the ashtray for?
Oh, hairpins, rubber bands, stamps, apple cores, and all stuff like that there. There's never any room for ashes in it. Now about lunch, Molly. I thought it
Well,
was...
if you're so anxious to have lunch, why don't you go out and wash the dishes?
Who, me? No, sirree. What do you think I am? A sissy? I don't wash no dishes. I hate washing dishes.
Huh, I suppose I like to, huh?
Certainly not. And I hate to have you wash dishes, too, sweetheart. That's what I'm talking about. Nobody has to wash dishes around here today. I'm going to take you out to lunch.
Well, that's very nice of you. Now move a little whilst I dust... what did you say?
I says I'm inviting you out to lunch.
Well, heavenly days. You mean you're asking me to go out to lunch, dearie?
What's so strange about that? You afraid people will talk? I didn't just meet you on a streetcar, you know. We're married, remember?
But, dearie, this is so sudden. That is, if you can call it sudden after 15 years.
Look, Molly, I ain't the guy to be stood up on a date. You want to go or don't you?
Yes, and thank you, dearie, thank you.
Oh, forget it. It's nothing that any red-blooded, clean-living American boy wouldn't have done. Besides, this is Make a Pal of Your Wife week.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
I thought this was peel an onion and shed a tear for the boys in the upper brackets week.
Well, come on, hurry up and get your hat.
All right. But it'll take me a while to put my face on. I'll be down in just a minute, dearie.
Ah, women. When a man gets a date with a gal, he pats himself on the back. When a gal gets a date with a man, she pats herself on the face. Come in.
Hello there, Johnny. Hello, daughter. Hey, where's daughter?
He's upstairs making a mug out of nature. What's on your mind, old-timer?
Want to buy any soap, Johnny? I only got to sell 982 more bars, and I win a .22 rifle.
What's he going to do with a .22 rifle when you get it?
I'm going to shoot the guy that talked me into trying to sell this bum soap.
I don't believe we want any today, old-timer.
Hey!
I'm afraid you come to the wrong house. As Robinson Crusoe says to his man Friday when he put down his telescope, no sales.
That's pretty good, Johnny. But that ain't the way I heard it. The way I heard it, one feller says to t'other feller, says, I only got to sell 982 bars of soap, and I'll win a .22 rifle. That's so, says t'other feller. What you gonna do with a .22 rifle? And t'other feller says, I'm gonna shoot the guy that talked me into selling this bum soap. I thought that... What's the matter, Johnny?
We just did that one a minute ago.
I know it. But darn it, Johnny, I'm tired. All day long going from door to door selling this bum soap.
That guy's proved one thing to me. If man sprung from monkeys, he must have had a Charlie horse at the time.
Who is that at the door, dearie?
Oh, well, I can describe him best, Molly, as the guy that always stands behind you when you're playing bridge and says, not that one. Oh, come on, let's go.
Oh, my, I certainly appreciate this, McGee.
Oh, forget it. After all, Make a Pal of Your Wife week only comes once a year. It's Here comes Mrs. Uppington.
Heavenly days, look at her, will you? She struts along like the world was her oyster, and she just cornered the Tabasco market. The fuzzy. Why don't she... Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Uppington? So nice to see you.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. McGee? And Mr. McGee?
Hi, Uppity.
Lovely day, isn't it? I always try to take a long walk every day if possible. I get home simply brimming with a new energy and a new youth.
Oh, really? Who is he, Mrs. Uppington?
Who is who?
The new youth.
She means Billy Mills, Molly.
Oh.
Though his youth ain't awful new either.
But Billy is such a charming boy and a splendid musician. He came over last night and played the piano for me.
Yes?
Oh, all the lovely old songs of my girlhood.
Ah, wasn't that nice? And those Civil War songs were so inspiring.
Yes, indeed, they've walked. Civil War. Now, please, Mr. McGee,
Incidentally, Mrs. Uppington, speaking of romance, my husband has just taken me up for lunch.
Ah.
Won't you join us?
Oh, no, thank you, my dear. In fact, Dr. Mills and I are lunching together today.
Oh.
And I'm afraid we'd hardly patronize the same... well, we usually go to a very quiet, exclusive restaurant. I'm particularly devoted to a good French cuisine, you know.
Oh, is that so? I never ate one myself. Why don't you get the recipe, Molly?
Oh, Mr. McGee. Oh, you're so amusing, really. Get the recipe and yes, how droll.
Hey, what's so funny about that? Well, I've been an expert on food ever since my childhood. Even my teething ring was made from an old Goodyear recipe. Just to keep my eye on the cook, I had all my meals in the kitchen. Kitchenette McGee, I was known as in them days. Oh, my. Kitchenette McGee, the cute and cuddly connoisseur of classy cooking, carefully counting the calories and carbohydrates contained in concoctions of cow, cooked in combination with carrots, cabbage, cauliflower, and corn. Considerable corn. Constant customer of cosmopolitan cafes and corner cafeterias, my compliments were considered to cap the climax of a capable cook's career when I commended kindly on a clever consomme or a keen cutlet, and crowned the king of the cakes and crumblers from coast to coast as I cut and carve and crack and crunch. But excuse us, Huppy, we're late for lunch.
While we're waiting for Fibber and Molly to return, I'd like your attention for just a minute. How often during the week do you say, if only I had more time for reading or seeing my friends or for just plain resting? Well, I can tell you how you can find a few extra hours by protecting your floors with that grand labor-saving floor polish Glow Coat. Most of you have heard me tell the very simple story of Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat, how it requires no rubbing or buffing whatsoever, how it polishes itself in 20 minutes, leaving a sparkling, beautiful floor that's easy to keep clean. Spots and stains are quickly wiped up with a damp cloth. Now, you can use Glow Coat on all your floors, but by all means use it in your kitchen. It brings out the colors of your linoleum, keeps it looking just like new, makes your kitchen a pleasanter place to work in. And many users tell us that it actually makes their linoleum last 6 times longer than a floor surface that is unprotected. So why not ask your dealer for a can of Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat tomorrow? It's spelled GLO-COAT.
Well, where are you taking me out to lunch to, dearie?
Well, I don't know. I thought we might as well patronize Nick Topopoulos.
Oh. Well, anyway, I think it's real thoughtful of you to not want me standing over a hot stove and washing a lot of dishes today, McGee.
Oh, well, as long as you're my wife, Molly, you deserve the best.
Ah, do I really?
Yes, you do.
Well, then why are we eating at Nick Topopoulos' restaurant? Why don't we go to a decent joint?
Why, Molly, Nick is a friend of ours.
I know, but ptomaine poison is an awful strain even on a beautiful friendship.
Well, shucks, I just thought that
Hi,
if you went...
mister.
Oh, hello there, little girl. Where are you going?
Over to Willie Toops' house to play.
Oh, you are, eh?
Mm-hmm.
What you going to play? Ring around the rosy and drop the handkerchief and stuff?
No, those are baby games, I bet you.
They are?
Hmm?
So ring around the rosy and drop the handkerchief for baby games.
I think so, too.
Well, what are you going to play?
Well, I just talked to Willie on the telephone, and he said if we can get a couple of other kids, we could play some bridge.
Bridge? At your age? Sis, as the donkey says when he first seen himself in the mirror, I can't believe my ears.
Your nose is almost incredible, too, mister.
Say, you mean... Now, look, sis, what kind of bridge you kids going to play? Auction or contract?
London.
Oh. By the way, how's your little brother?
Which one?
The one that swallowed the 8 cents last week. Did they have him x-rayed?
Well, my mama says,
I says, did they have him x-rayed?
I don't know what you mean, Alberta.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, no, I don't.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, no, Well, what is it?
Look, sis, you know what an x-ray is as well as I do.
Gee, do I?
Sure you do. Come on now. What's that mysterious-looking thing that sees right through you and tells you what's the matter with you?
Your wife, I bet you. Go on, mister.
Well, come on, Molly. Let's get going. The Populous' restaurant is just around the corner here.
All right, but I warn you, McGee, his food is terrible.
Oh, I admit Nick ain't no Oscar of the Waldorf.
He certainly isn't. Even his short orders are long shots. But I'm not complaining, dearie. I still think you were sweet to ask me out to lunch. Now, I won't mind doing the dishes when we get home.
Oh, I'll do the dishes.
Oh, no, I'll do the dishes. It's no job for a man.
Oh, let me do them.
No.
Okay, you promise?
Certainly. Oh, look, there's Mr. Wilcox coming out of the restaurant. Yoo-hoo, Mr. Wilcox.
Oh, hello, folks. Where are you going?
I'm taking Molly into Nick's for lunch, Harlow. You know, this is Make a Pal of Your Wife week.
Yes, I know.
Are you celebrating it too, Mr. Wilcox?
Oh, not particularly.
What?
Well, why should I? To me, every week is Make a Pal of Your Wife week. That's my job.
Uh-oh. Folks, if I ain't mistaken, you're about to hear the first floor show ever put on in front of a restaurant.
Well, you know what I mean. Any guy who sells a no-rubbing, no-buffing preparation like Johnson's self-polishing glow coat to the housewife is giving her something better than flowers or candy or diamonds. He's giving her more leisure, more pride in her home, and a lot easier job of housework.
Hey, Harlow.
What?
I don't mean to change the subject.
As if you could.
But do you always eat here at the Populous' restaurant?
Sure. I sell him so much Johnson's wax and glow coat, I know he's got the cleanest place in town.
Is that so?
Go take a look at his kitchen sometime. You could eat off the floor.
It seems to be a pretty busy place.
I'll say it is. I couldn't even find a place to sit down in there. I ate in the kitchen.
No, they set a table for you out in the kitchen?
No, I ate off the floor. See what I mean? Well, so long, folks.
Lefty Johnson and Son sure own a controlling interest in that guy. Well, come on in, Molly.
Lead on, me pal of the week.
Good day, sir, and madam. The name, please.
What you mean, the name?
Beg pardon, sir, but we're very busy today. Did you call up and reserve a couple of stools?
Well, heavenly day.
A Mater D. Hash joint. First thing we know, Nick will start hiring redcaps to carry the tea bags.
Just give us a stool or a booth anywhere, Mr. Headwaiter. We're not fussy.
Sorry, madam. It's impossible at the moment. We're extremely busy. However, if you'd care to wait a few moments in the cocktail lounge.
What cocktail lounge?
Right next door, sir. Of course, it isn't quite finished, but it's very amusing to watch the steam shovel.
Stop shooting the malarkey to us, Sharky, and call Mr. DePopoulos. We're friends of his.
There he is, over there by booth number 5.
Sorry, sir. Mr. DePopoulos can't leave those patrons for the moment.
Why not?
Their table wobbles a bit, and he's keeping his toe under it. They're leaving. Mr. DePopoulos.
Yes, what is being... Oh, hello there, Cupid. Hello, Fisher.
Hi, Nick.
Welcome to my restaurant, sir. I didn't any more expect to see you in here today than I can shake a stick at.
Well, you seem to be doing quite a business, Mr. DePopoulos.
Oh, yes. Tuesday is as busy with the DePopoulos restaurants as it is with you, Fisher, and for the same reason. Baked clams. But I'm glad you're patronising my places instead of that one across the street.
What's the matter with the place across the street, Nick? Food no good?
Oh, the food is being ugly-duckly, Fisher. But the service.
Oh.
The service is being as slow as Molassy Puss and Jenny Wimber.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, I can't stand it much longer. Every time I send over there for my lunch, it is taking them half an hour to breathe across the street. If I don't look out, they're liable to lose a good customer.
Well, look, Nick, I brung Molly in here on account of it being Make a Pal of Your Wife week. Can't you give us a booth right away?
Why, Fisher, for a good friend of mine like you, I certainly don't think I can right away. But the very first one that is being available, somebody else will probably get that for us, too.
Well, how about the one you just left, Mr. DePopoulos?
Oh, sure. Why don't you sit there? Head waiter!
Yes, Mr. DePopoulos.
Give these people booths numbers 5, so they have a good view of the entertainment. If we only had some. I hope you're enjoying your lunch, Cupie and Fizzle, in spite of the food.
Well, thanks, Nick.
Step right this way, sir.
Yes, sir.
Allow me, madam.
Allow you what?
Why, allow me to hold your chair for you.
So you can pull it out from under me when I sit down. Oh, no, you don't. Get away from there.
Yes, madam. I'll send the waitress right over. Hey, Blondie, shag a setup for number 5.
Look at this silverware, McGee. 4 forks and no knife or spoon.
Oh, that's class, Molly. Them are your salad fork, entree fork, cocktail fork, and pie fork.
Well, they're all alike.
What's the difference? Everything in here tastes alike. Oh, here's the waitress. Hi, sis. What's good today?
Oh, hello, folks. Haven't seen you for a long time. We have pot roast, lamb stew, weenies, and sauerkraut. That's a good-looking fur coat you have on, Mrs. McGee. Pork shanks, corned beef, and cabbage, only it's all gone. Spanish omelet and veal loaf. What on earth do you suppose Sumner Wells is cooking up over there in Europe?
Pot roast.
Same here.
I didn't know you was working here, Mrs. Worrybottom. How do you like being a croquette croupier?
Well, cut it out now. Well, frankly, Mr. McGee, I don't think I'll be here very long. The chef is one of those fresh guys. Every time I put in an order, he sticks his head out of that little window and winks at me. 2 orders of pot roast. And if he does it just once more, I'm going to drop whatever I'm doing and quit. And there he goes. He just did it again. And I quit.
No doubt about it, woe is me. Chloe's gone, lost in the jungle. Nellie was a lady, last night she died. Oh, Miss Hannah refuses to see me, but there's always Dinah, sweet old Dinah. I'm going to make her my bride. Whoa, Dinah, isn't anyone finer in the state of Carolina? If there isn't, you know her, then bring her up shore to me. Dinah, Dinah Lee with the Dixie eyes blazing. How I love to sit and gaze into the eyes of Dinah Lee. Every night, why do it not change the sight? Because my dynamite going to change your mind about me. Now don't you ever go and change your mind about me, Dinah Lee, sweet Dinah. If you wandered off to faraway China, I would hop a steaming horse and go and line a woo, just to be with Dinah Lee.
Dinah, ain't you coming out tonight? All the mockingbirds and singing, and the moon ever shining bright. We'll go down to the cornfield, and we'll talk to the evening breeze. Hey, put on your Sunday good clothes and come along, please. Oh, Dinah Lee, dark baby Dinah, if you went to China, Dinah, if you went to China, I would hop a liner on the way to China, just to find my Dinah Lee. Oh, Dinah, 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 oh, Miss Lee.
Thank you, King's men. That was great. How's the pot roast, Molly?
Oh, it's not bad, dearie. I think I could stand any kind of food as long as I didn't have to wash the dishes afterwards. It's so nice to get out once in a while.
Partial dependence, cigarette tax, 18 cents a day. 365 times 18 cents. Reasonable depreciation on real estate.
Oh, look, McGee, there's Mr. Gildersleeve sitting over there.
Huh? Where? Oh, yeah. He's figuring his income tax on the tablecloth. Hey, Gildersleeve.
Oh, my goodness, look what I did.
Oh, sorry we startled you, Mr. Gildersleeve. Did you spill something on you?
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, McGee. No, but I just spilled ketchup all over my deductions. Oh, well, I was in the red anyway.
You eat here all the time, Gildy?
Oh, yes, indeed, McGee. I come here because they have pies just like my mother used to make. Oh, poor mother. She certainly baked terrible pies. In fact, she still does.
Well, then why don't you eat your pie over at her house?
I can't. She sells them all to Nick.
Well, thanks for the warning, Gildersleeve. Anything I hate, it's bum pastry.
Now, look here, McGee. You can't talk like that about my mother's cooking.
Well, all I said is what you says yourself.
Copycat?
I ain't either a copycat.
You are, too.
Oh, now stop it.
Knock that bowl of soup off my shoulder.
Stop it now. Finish your lunch, McGee. And do you eat in here all the time, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Oh, no. Just at mealtime. Am I hot tonight?
Don't be so fresh, Rocky. She was asking if you was a regular patron here.
Well, up to now I have been, McGee. But by George, I'm getting pretty tired of their stinginess.
Stinginess, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes. They only serve 2 slices of bread. Imagine that. 2 slices. I like bread. And 2 slices isn't enough. I've complained, and they won't do a thing about it.
Pardon me, Mr. Gildersleeve. Mr. Populus has heard about your trouble with the bread, so he sent you this.
Oh, look at that, Molly. A whole loaf of bread, cut in 2.
That's just what I've been talking about. Look at it. You see what I mean? 2 slices again. Where's that Populus? Let me talk to that field ballot.
Well, McGee, I still wish we'd have gone to the Giltmore Grill. I imagine that's where Billy Mills took Mrs. Uppington. She's so uppity about everything. Why, she wouldn't think.
Hey, Molly, listen.
Oh, William, this is such fun, really. Isn't it just too quaint eating in a place with paper napkins? Just like a picnic.
Sure is, Bubbles. This joint gets more like a picnic grove every day. Even its finish tastes like poison ivy.
But, Maestro, I liked it so much better than that little place you took me to last night. You know, the place built like a railroad car.
Oh, you mean Donovan's Diner? Say, that guy slaps together the best corned beef hash in town, Snooky.
Oh, really? I wasn't criticizing the food, my dear. Only I forgot I was not on a real railroad train, and when I opened the door to go back to the club car, I fell right into a garbage can.
You hear that, McGee? And her telling us about what an exclusive place they were going to have lunch.
Oh, well, I guess she found out it's hard to tie a feed bag on over a high hat. You want any dessert, Molly?
Oh, no, thank you, McGee. I'm finished.
Me too. Hey, waiter, give me the treasurer's report.
Yes, sir. Here you are, sir. 2 lunches at 65 cents, $1.30. Cover charge, 10 cents each, $1.50.
Okay, Bud, Uh-oh.
What's the matter, McGee?
I left my money home on the dresser. Let me take a couple of bucks, Molly.
I haven't a dime with me, dearie.
Oh. Now, give me the check, Bud. I'll sign it.
Sorry, sir. Against the rules.
Huh?
You have to get it okayed by Mr. Populus.
Huh? Oh, okay. Excuse me, Molly. I'll be right back. Hey, Nick. You know what I done? I left the house without any money. Now you take my recipe for a pork pie, Chef. First, you cut the pork into cubes, see? About 1 inch square. Then you rub your pan with garlic. Wait a minute. How are you doing, Molly?
Ah, dear. Mr. DePopoulos says we can go when I finish these 12 stacks of dishes, McGee.
Well, take your time, Molly. I'm in no hurry. What was I saying, Chef? Oh, yeah. Then you take about 2 pounds of breadcrumbs, mix
Fibber and Molly will be back in just a moment, which leaves me just time to remind you that in these bad weather days of March, your floors, furniture, and woodwork need the protection of genuine Johnson's wax. Floors that have been regularly Johnson waxed laugh at wet, muddy footprints. A damp cloth removes the dirt, and the rich beauty of the waxed floor remains intact. That's why we say, when you walk on wax, you save your floors. For the same reason, woodwork and furniture that is Johnson waxed is more beautiful, easier to keep clean, and guarded by the tough wax shield against scratches, dirt, and smudgy fingerprints. Have you examined recently a can or bottle of genuine Johnson's wax, either paste or liquid? You will find listed right on the package more than 100 labor-saving uses for this famous wax polish. Read this list carefully. It will save you many hours of work throughout the year and add greatly to the beauty of your home.
Now, look, McGee, next year when Make a Pal of Your Wife week comes around, leave me know so I can buy a pair of rubber gloves. The idea of making your own wife wash dishes in a public restaurant.
Now, wait a minute, Molly. That ain't fair. How did I know Nick would be so dead ready?
Well, we shouldn't have gone there in the first place.
Huh?
Any restaurant that the government forces to serve bicarbonated soda with every businessman's lunch.
Hey, wait a minute. Why does the government do that?
Well, they're trying to relieve the distress of the small merchants.
Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
From 84 years ago, March 12, 1940, Fibber McGee and Molly here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Tomorrow, Mr. District Attorney, Night Beat, Gunsmoke, Have Gun Will Travel, and of course, we'll have an episode of Lum and Abner. Speaking of which, we'll head to Pine Ridge from Wistful Vista in just a moment.
Excuse me, I'm a reporter. I'm doing a story about the post office, and I'd like to see how the mail is processed.
Be our guest, but better move back. Another truckload of mail is coming in. Hey, just pile it here, Harry.
Wow, that's a lot of mail.
Are you kidding? Those are just a few sacks. Dozens more come in every minute, loaded with letters that have to be sorted. The zip-coded ones are a snap. But those others, I'd like to talk to every person who sent a letter today without using zip code.
Yeah, what would you tell them?
I'd tell them their letters can hold up the works. Look, they'll be picking up the sorted mail in 5 minutes. Now, if every letter here had zip codes, they'd all make that pickup. But no, a lot of them will have to be sorted the old way. People who don't use zip codes are holding up the mail. Hey, that's a pretty good slogan. Why don't you print that?
I don't have to. You see, I'm a radio reporter. Your message is traveling all over the country right now.
No kidding. Say, can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
Hello, Sally. Hi, Ben. Hi, Susie. Hi, Sam.
And we'll write 30 on this episode of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox after we hear this episode of Lum and Abner going back 82 years, March 12th, 1942.
The makers of Alka-Seltzer bring you Lum and Abner. Say, folks, Lum and Abner want me to remind you that you'll find it mighty wise to keep a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets in your home during the cold-catching days ahead. Because that very same Alka-Seltzer that you take for headaches and minor stomach upsets also offers mighty comforting relief for much of your cold distress. And what's more, the modern Alka-Seltzer way is just as easy and simple as ABC. Listen. A, Alka-Seltzer. Take it for prompt, pleasant relief for that dull, achy, feverish feeling of a cold. B, be careful. Get more rest than usual. Eat wisely. Dress sensibly. And C, if your throat is sore and raspy due to your cold, comfort it by gargling with Alka-Seltzer. Just dissolve 2 Alka-Seltzer tablets in a quarter glass of warm water and use it for a soothing gargle. Now, those ABCs are easy enough, aren't they? And mighty sensible, too, as you'll agree once you've tried them. So be wise and get a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets from your druggist right away. And never be without them in your home again, especially during the cold-catching days ahead. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, Lum believes that he's hit upon the secret of Cedric's sudden and apparently unlimited wealth. After hearing Grandpappy Spears read the story of Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp, Lum became convinced that the lantern which Diogenes Smith left for Cedric to carry during his absence is another Aladdin's lamp. As we look in on the little community today, we find Lum and Abner in their jot-em-down store and library, waiting for Cedric. Listen.
Hey, doggies, there comes Cedric down the street already, Lum. He's sure getting over here fast, you know.
Yeah.
You didn't call him till about 5 minutes ago.
Well, I told him to hurry. Now, don't you say nothing to him about Diogenes' lantern.
Oh, no.
Just leave that to me.
Sure.
I'll study up some way to get Cedric to leave that with us for a while.
Yeah, well, now, are you sure that's where Cedric's getting all his money, Lum?
Of course I'm sure. Well, I'm almost sure. Diogenes always carried that same lantern around. We know he was rich.
Yeah.
Now, since Cedric's got it, he's rich.
Yeah, that's right, ain't it?
And there ain't no other way Cedric could get that much money, except by magic.
No. Hey, doggies, it's still hard to believe, though, that all he has to do is rub that lantern and out comes hundreds of dollars.
I know it is, but it happened once a long time ago. Tells all about it in that book Grandpap was reading the other day. It's called Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp.
Wonderful lamp?
Yeah. Granny, that's more than likely where Diogenes got that saying about wonderful world.
Why, sure it is.
Yeah, for all we know, that lantern of Diogenes might be the same one that Aladdin had.
Yes, sir.
Might have handed down from generations to generations.
You mean Diogenes and that feller Aladdin's is relates?
I don't know, Abner, but it sure look... Wait a minute. Here's Cedric now. Find out.
Yeah.
Well, howdy, Cedric, old boy.
Yeah, come in, Cedric, old boy. Sit down, make yourself comfortable.
Wonderful world.
Wonderful world.
What was you fellers wanting to see me about? Oh, we just wanted to talk to you, Cedric. Sit down there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You see, Diogenes sort of left me in charge of things while he's out of town, Cedric, and he told me to see that you was taking good care of his lantern for him.
Yeah, that's what he said, Cedric.
So I figured you'd better leave it here with me for today, and I'll check it over and polish it up and stuff.
Oh, I polish it every day, Mr. Lum. Take awful good care of it.
You do, huh? Well, it don't look like it's been polished today.
Well, I ain't got to it yet today, but generally that's the first thing I do whenever I get up in the morning. I polish the lantern and rub it good and hard till it's terrible shiny, and then I get me a big roll of money, and I'm all set for the day.
Uh-oh.
Did you hear that, Abner?
Yeah. Well, I do know.
Mom?
Oh, nothing, Cedric. Nothing.
Well, I reckon I better be running along. I gotta spread the word into the corners that's dark and stuff. So long.
Yeah, well, here, wait a minute,
Yeah,
Cedric.
wait a minute, Cedric. Sit back down there.
Yeah.
Why don't you leave the lantern here for a little bit, and I'll fill it up with cool oil. For nothing.
Oh, much obliged, but it's filled up. Besides, I can buy all the cool oil I want. I'll see you later.
Well, wait a minute, Cedric. Don't go yet. I want to see you about something. Let's see now.
You sure that lantern ain't too heavy for you to carry all by yourself, Cedric?
Oh, no, Mom. It's awful light. I could carry 100 of them.
You could.
Cedric, that pinball machine you ordered out of the catalog might be here by now. Why don't you run over to the post office and see?
Yeah.
And you better leave the lantern here, because you'll need both hands to carry the machine if it's here.
Well, I already been over to the post office and asked about it. Ain't here.
Uh-oh.
It ain't, huh? Well, come to think of it, Cedric, they generally send them things by express. They might have delivered it to Luke Spear's restaurant, because that's the only place that uses them in this town.
Yes, sir. That's more than likely just where it's at. Seems to me like I seen somebody delivering a big package down there this morning, Cedric.
Oh, boy, I'll bound you that's it.
Why, sure.
Let's call Mr. Luke up on the phone and ask him.
Huh?
No, we can't do that, Cedric. The phone may be out of order.
Yeah,
you better run down there and see.
Yes, Mom, I reckon I will. Boy, I'll hope it's here.
Yeah, well, here, wait, Cedric. Leave the lantern. You'll need both hands to carry that big machine.
Yes, Mom, but I don't think Mr. Diogenes would like for me not to carry it, though. He told me to carry it all the time.
Well, we won't tell him, Cedric.
Honest, sure enough, won't you?
Why, of course not. Now, here, set it down. Now, run along. You better hurry now.
Wonderful world.
Wonderful world.
Granny, I thought we never was going to get that lantern away from that boy.
Me neither.
Good thing I thought about that pinball machine.
Oh, yeah, he fell for that. Reckon why he wants to get himself a pinball machine.
I don't know. I think he wants to have one to practice on so he can learn how to beat that one down at Luke Spears' restaurant.
Yeah.
That's his one ambition, just to beat that pinball machine once.
Oh, yeah. Well, here. Come on, let's rub a lantern and see that magic stuff work.
Yeah. Granny's Abner, we got it.
Oh, my, yeah.
Look at that little thing sitting there. That little innocent lantern.
Yeah.
And to think it's got more power than you or me or Diogenes or anybody.
Why, sure.
And in about 2 minutes, it's going to make us rich, you know.
Well, here, hurry up. Let's try it. I still got to see this before I believe it, Lum.
Oh, you believe it, all right. Go ahead. I'll let you be first.
Well, good for me. You see now, what I do now, just rub the lantern?
Well, wait. You got to ask it for something first.
Oh.
Better ask it for something big, because we ain't got much time.
Yeah. Let's see. How about an elephant?
An elephant?
Yeah. That's big.
Yeah, we don't want one of them things stomping around the store here.
Oh.
Besides, Cedric might get suspicious if he come back and seen an elephant in here. He'd know it was magic.
Oh, yeah, he might, yeah.
Ask it for money.
Money, huh?
We know it works on that.
Yeah, let's see, about $10.
$10? Oh, goodness. Make it $100,000.
$100,000?
Here, I better do it.
Yeah,
You
try
got
it out,
little
Mom.
bitty idea.
I'm too nervous to fool with that anyway.
Now then, oh, wonderful lantern, give me $100,000.
Try it again, Lom. Rub it a little harder this time.
I rubbed as hard as I could.
Now try it again.
Oh, wonderful lantern, give me $100,000.
Okay, let me try it once. Oh, lantern, give me $100,000, please.
Better go back to $10.
10, huh?
Yeah, maybe it can't put out that much money at one time.
Yeah. Lantern, give us $10. Well, just give me $1 then. 50 cents. A nickel.
Granny's it's stingy.
Doggies, Lom, this thing ain't no good, I don't
Well, now,
believe.
wait. Maybe we ain't doing it right.
Huh?
More than likely some magic secret about it.
Secret.
I know it must work, because you heard what Cedric said about polishing the lantern every morning and then getting a big roll of money.
Yeah, I heard him say that all right, but it sure ain't working for us, Lom.
Well, he must know some secret. Maybe he says some secret words to the lantern or something.
Secret words?
I wonder if he realizes how lucky he is. He can get himself anything he wants.
Hey, Doggies, Lom, wait a minute. Maybe that secret password that Diogenes give you has something to do with it. You know that light the lantern, friend?
Hey, Granny's, that's right.
Maybe that's it.
Give me the
That might
lantern.
be- Yeah, here.
Oh, wonderful lantern, listen to me. Light the lantern, friend. Now give me $100.
Well, that ain't it.
Wonderful world, lantern, give me $50. Wonderful world.
That ain't it neither, Lom.
Oh, my good and faithful harbinger of a lantern, give me $50.
I don't believe it'll work, Lom.
Abacadabra. Hocus pocus gingerocus.
Try eeny, meeny, miny, mole.
Oh, don't be silly, Abner. Them ain't magic words.
Uh-huh.
Ain't no use. We can't make it work. All we can hope to do now is to study up some way to get Cedric to tell us the magic secret.
Well, I don't know how we're going to do that.
I don't either, but we got to do it somehow. Might have to go into partnerships with him or something.
Why, sure.
Do you realize that Cedric can get to be the richest man in the whole world? He can buy anything he wants.
Sure.
Buy railroads, gold mines, oil wells. He could even buy New York City if he wanted it.
For the land's sake.
Folks will write books about him. They'll make moving pictures about him. He'll be the greatest feller that ever lived. You watch what I tell you.
Oh, my.
I'd give anything to know that secret.
Well, Lom, why don't we just take this lantern apart and look inside of it?
No, we can't do that, Abner. That'd be like killing the goose that laid the golden egg.
Well, if we're... Huh?
I say that'd be like killing the goose that laid the golden egg.
Well, it ain't got no goose inside of it, has it?
No, forget about that. This is something much bigger than that.
Well, how could a goose lay an egg down in a lantern that way, Lom?
Just quit talking about that. This is supernatural stuff, this stuff here.
It is, huh?
Yeah, and it's sort of dangerous to monkey around with unless you know what you're doing. No telling what might happen to it.
Oh, I ain't afeard of it. I'm going to take this thing apart and... Oh, wait a minute. Better not. There comes Cedric back. Here comes Cedric.
Granny, set the lantern back on the counter.
Yeah.
Don't let him know what we've been trying to do.
You going to ask him about the secret words?
Of course not. We can't come right out and ask him. We got to wait and study up a plan for that first.
Find out. Here he comes.
A wonderful world, Cedric.
Wonderful world.
Doggone it anyway.
What's the matter, Cedric?
Oh, my pinball machine weren't down there. Ain't came in yet.
Oh. Well, don't worry. It'll get here in time, Cedric.
Cedric, I want to ask you something personal.
Mom?
Are there anything secret about this lantern?
Secret?
Yeah, are there any secret works down inside of it or anything?
No, Mom, not that I know of. Just unscrew this little cap here and put the oil right down the bottom of it like you do on any other... Oh, my goodness. Now I've did it.
Huh?
Now I've did it sure enough.
What's the matter, Cedric?
Oh, I'm ruined.
Huh?
I loaned the Macmillan boys a lantern to take on a camping trip with them, and I just discovered I loaned them the wrong one.
Wrong one?
Yes, Mom. They got the one Dodge and these give me to carry.
Well, Cedric seems to have just cause to be worried, doesn't he? But then he should remember the old saying, worry never got you anything. You've heard people say that, I'm sure. Well, we might correct that a little by saying worry never got you anything pleasant, because it has caused a lot of folks to have nervous indigestion. Now, of course, the best thing for nervous indigestion is to avoid worry and work under tension. But once you've got it, what you want is relief. So next time, try a glass of sparkling, refreshing Alka-Seltzer. Just dissolve an Alka-Seltzer tablet or two in a glass of water, then drink it, and see how quickly it can ease that restless, jittery stomach. Alka-Seltzer is pleasant to the taste, too, and it's not a laxative. Get Alka-Seltzer from your druggist and take it the very next time too much work, worry, and fretting cause nervous indigestion.
March 12th, 1942, Lum and Abner here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll hear another episode of Lum and Abner on our Wednesday edition of the podcast here, along with episodes of Mr. District Attorney, Night Beat starring Frank Lovejoy, Have a Gun Will Travel starring John Daner, and Gunsmoke, and that, of course, stars William Conrad. That'll be on our next Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage to support the podcast at classicradio.stream. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.